Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. What's good, everybody? What's happening? Happy holidays, everybody. What's good? This is the Bacchanal Podcast, the fusion of hip hop, video games, comics, music, and nerd culture, all rolled up into one spectacular show. Join me, K to the C and the T dot, and Akil in the North Carolina beautiful city, beautiful state.
You done know.
Discuss nerd culture while adding our Trinidadian spin on things, you know?
Woo!
So this is Blerd news like you never heard before. So sit back and enjoy. Akil, what's good, man? We got a guest? Who we got?
Oh, we got my man's Jarvis in the building from the hot Arizona state.
Okay. What's good, Jarvis? How you feeling?
Hey, how's everybody going right now?
You dressed
Good,
up like
good.
a broke-ass Pikachu also, or what? Like Akil
still
got
my-
something.
Still my work close, my 3 jobs, you know.
I'm grinching out
Yeah.
here.
Jarvis is Jamaican in Arizona, huh?
Hey, man, the hustle never sleeps.
Hey, there's a lot out here. You'd be surprised.
No, I know. I've been there. Where you at? Scottsdale?
Oh, man, I ain't got no money. I ain't got no Scottsdale money. No, I'm in Phoenix.
Oh man. So what's poppin', everybody? How you feeling? Cuz, how you
Yo.
doing?
Feel good. My birthday's about to kick off in about 4 hours.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Happy
You
early
got that new
birthday.
camera. Happy
check
birthday.
me out, baby. I got Brandy, and I ain't talking about Ray J's sister over here. I got this Ciroc, very special French brandy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's looking nice. The bottle's smaller than the regular bottle, right?
Indeed, it is.
But it still hits the spot though.
It's all good.
I got me some red wine over here, you know, just sipping on that.
Jarvis probably in his underwear,
Nah, not
shirtless,
yet. Not yet.
rubbing his nipples, ready to talk about Star Wars.
Oh boy.
Nah, I don't know.
Ah,
So what
oh,
you been doing with
this
week, man?
episode is brought to you by Apples. We got a sponsor. We're gonna talk about Apples. This episode is brought to you by Apples. You know, Apple Day keeps the doctor away, but they won't stop that penal discharge or that rash.
He's
So I
talking from
suggest-
experience, people.
So I suggest that you still do go see a doctor. But this episode is brought to you by Apples. Go eat your apple.
All right.
That's what we all in this
You
year.
right that one?
No. Mental health is wealth, and so is your
Oh.
physical health.
Yeah.
Okay? Feels
Yeah.
me?
I feels you.
Now you do. You saw that was my hand.
I see the camera. You got that step. You stepped
My hand.
up finally. So what we talk about this week, man? It's episode.
Spicy. Oh God. All right, we're gonna talk about Birds of Prey. It's rated R, but do I care?
Mm.
Christopher Nolan's back. We got that new film Tenet with David. Was it David Washington? Is his name?
Isn't John David Washington?
John David. That's like two first names. John David Duke Washington the third.
Sir John David.
Sir John David. I'm gonna talk best and worst game companies of 2019. I'm not sure if I'm ready to talk about best movies of 2019. Are you?
I wrote a little list here. I ain't
Okay.
got 5 first. I made a little list. I
We
did my
gonna-
homework before class started. You know what I mean? I just jotted down.
Nah, I'm cheating.
I got a heavy list of best.
looking
Though. I
around.
got a fire list of movies that were actually. We had a fire year. I ain't gonna front.
It was a good year. We had some disappointments, but we also had some good stuff, man.
Definitely had some disappointments.
We're gonna save our Witcher discussion for next episode, and we're gonna do Star Wars spoiler free. And I feel like, do we need to break this off into 2 episodes? Like maybe do the spoiler free this episode, then just stop, and then hit them with the spoilers after.
Now let's do it all this one episode. I could break it down into 2 things after, if anything. We'll discuss that after. Let's do it all
We'll
together.
do it all. Are you ready for that? Are you good with that, Jarvis?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, cool.
All right, so it's gonna be kind of light load, man. It's like, you know, it's an appetizer.
Oh, good,
Getting
man.
Ready
Christmas
before you do
parties.
something.
Christmas parties. The sickness is catching me, man.
Ooh, that
What the-
potluck. Carol's brought you some mashed potatoes.
Oh, I stayed away from all that. I'll just drink water. I'm good, guys.
Like, try my food. I've been slaving in the kitchen all week. And you're like, Carol, you know you can't be using the word slave around black folks, Carol.
Jarvis, man, where's that energy at, man? What you think? What your thoughts?
Show us your face, Jarvis.
Speak with your chest, dog.
One of these days, I will. You know, we'll see.
I respect you, Jarvis. You got an old nigga name, man. Like to be out here in these streets named Jarvis. That's right up there with like Luther, or Cornelius. Like
Meredith.
when
He about to hook up with a Meredith out there in these streets.
when you give your son like an old nigga name like that, that means you are the man out here in these streets. Like,
Exactly.
Like if I was to ask your dad if he was a man, he'll probably just like look off in the distance and just remember the fond days in the 70s, like.
And then look
right,
you look you dead in your eyes.
God damn right,
I guess.
Your dad got named like Luther.
No, my dad's name's Jarvis also.
Oh shit, you
Yeah,
said
yeah, that's their name.
He said, "That's my seed right there." Well, he probably calls you a seed. That's my seed. That's my seed right there. That's J.R.
He's called me lots of things. I'll say that.
You piece of shit.
Damn, Jarvis. Disappointment.
I mean, you all saw Fences, right? That wasn't too far in my childhood.
That's my son doing that Harry Potter shit. He's special.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, Jarvis, we love you over here at the Baccannal, man. I ain't gonna give you a real hug, but I'll give you a virtual hug.
We're gonna put some respect on your name. Don't worry, we got you.
Yeah, man. Because you got an old nigga name. That means that shit deserves respect, okay?
Well, it's better than my uncle's named Willie and stuff.
That's an old nigga name too. Oh, that Willie over there. Oh, Willie Riddick. Willie.
Some solid ass names, right? Willie.
No, that Willie up the street.
Billy. Down the block. Oh man.
You sound like Jarvis is like a wise Negro. Like you said, like he's at the campfire telling old tales, like Jarvis with the stories.
Isn't Jarvis for Iron Man?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
That's a sophisticated name though. You can't be like a nigga in the street like running crack named Jarvis. Like if you're Jarvis, you're doing wine testings and tastings, and you're a man with etiquette. You're a man with of refinement. You can't be a hood nigga named Jarvis.
Slap Marvel for making you the driver. Damn.
No, disrespectful, man.
Yeah, man.
I respect your name, Jarvis.
I'm gonna put respect on your name, though. I got you, fam.
Uh-huh.
We're doing the opposite right now. But let's get it, baby. Let's start.
All right. Well, we're gonna start with Birds of Prey is gonna be rated R. Do you care?
That shit's still gonna flop, man. They're just trying to target as many people as possible. I think they're still focused on that teeny bopper, 13 to 14-year-old girl audience, but now they're trying to be edgy and raw, like our YouTube. So I hope you're checking us out right now. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what they're gonna be doing, man. It ain't gonna work, man. We're gonna check this out once, and we'll be like,
I don't know. I gotta say the opposite though about that. I don't think it's gonna flop.
You think the Hot Topic generation is going to eat this up? They're not going to be old enough to go see it in theaters. First of all,
I think I read the budget's below 50, so I think they're good no matter what.
Good.
Okay.
And so I know what's her face, Margot Robbie. I think she put up her own money, so she ain't spent a lot of money.
Oh, that's good. See, I didn't know that.
And what's her face, like Smollett girl, she ain't copping no big checks as neither as the other girl. So like
she's doing it for the solid, eh?
Yeah, like
I just can't wait for the premiere when they're asking her questions. They're like, all right, about Black Canary, and she starts answering a Black Canary question, and out of nowhere, your brother's a lying piece of shit. And then she's like, what? What's that got to do with the movie? Nah, you gotta answer for your brother.
Oh man, Hood of Justice, man.
Hood of Justice, oh, Jesse Smollett.
Hood of Jesse.
Hood of Jesse, man. So yeah, it's rated R. Ever since the big success of Joker, DC wants to jump on this rated R hype train. From what I saw in the commercial, it could have.
Man, it's only been one.
Hey, they want to jump on that money. They're like, hey, people like that edge. Marvel's currently not doing rated R. Let that be our thing. So I feel like DC doesn't know what their thing is, and they're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
I mean, look, what's that? Shazam's not gonna be rated R. Shazam 2, whenever that comes out, that's not gonna be rated R. Neither is Aquaman 2. Wonder Woman's not gonna be R, and neither is Black Adam's probably not gonna be R either. So I think if they're gonna keep it the R with like the Batman family, I'm like, all right, I guess it works better than other people.
Yeah, it's understandable with the Batman family, but when they interact with other people, it's gonna be like, I just saw a Batman movie where he's beating up, people at the brothel and dropping F-bombs, and then he's just chummed it up with Shazam now, and he's a completely different person.
Come on, like Punisher
Go
does it
ahead.
all the time. Like that's not a big thing.
But in the cartoon, he does that. We haven't really seen a live adaptation of the Punisher interacting with somebody like a Peter Parker.
And like I said, like nowadays you can do pretty much anything except show blood in the. And so like, probably the only thing that's gonna be R is probably the language. Probably drop like 1 or 2 F-bombs and that's it.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, when was this decision made? Was this decision made while making the script, and they had things that might be a little adult for the understanding of the younger people, or was this decision made after on the hype train, and they're just throwing in a man, fuck Batman type of thing? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I think
this
it was after. Have you guys watched the Harley Quinn cartoon yet?
Yeah, I've seen the 2 episodes so far. I saw both of them.
The first episode, I felt like it was trying too hard and it was trying to be too edgy. The second episode, I was just like, but by the third episode, it slowly started to grow on me. It has like a 90s Duckman vibe to it. Was not as good.
okay.
Casey, check the Plex server. That's all I gotta say. Got you, fam.
No, I saw it on there. All
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still gonna check this movie out in theaters. Not day one.
Yeah, I'm not on that. I'm not on that. Oh, DC's trash train. It's like
No.
Make a good movie. Make a good movie. I don't care who makes it.
Yeah, I just hope they get it together because they have all the pieces on the board. You know, they can do whatever they want with this whole DC thing. So I just want them to make it good. You know, make it great.
This isn't on the list, but you guys want to have a quick discussion of the last episode of The Watchmen?
Hell yeah, I'm down for that.
Down for that. All right. I've read I skimmed through the end of Doomsday Clock. I've watched the last episode of Watchmen. I've come to the determination of I feel like Dr. Manhattan ain't about that life, man. He doesn't give a shit. He can't. They gave the wrong person the power. They gave the most it's like giving Daria the power to be Dr. Manhattan. She's just like, nah. I'm gonna sit back and watch.
I think he's lost his humanity. That's what happened.
I think
he saw that the main character. Yeah, I think it's good too. I think he saw that this character. You see how passionate she is when she finds out that her friend, FBI agent, a cop guy, whatever, dies, gets hung, and she's like so passionate. She has so much heart. I think that's what part of the reasons and elements to why he ended up falling in love with her, and she might be able to balance that whole thing and keep her humanity. So
are we going to see a Miss Manhattan with some blue titties?
I don't want to see a season 2. I ain't gonna lie.
I want to see blue titties.
I don't want to see season 2.
If it comes, I'm gonna watch it. I'm be excited, but I'm scared.
I might come. Yeah, I might come over. Right? Yeah, that's true. I just want to see.
I'm scared they mess it up. That's why, because they just dropped something epic.
Like I said, they do like an anthology type of thing. I think being more bored with it, but I don't want to see like this continue.
Did you guys figure out who Lube Man was?
It was Petey.
Yeah,
sure.
Which they never really explained it though.
There's only like 2 options. It was like there's only one tall skinny dude, and it was him. So I was like,
who loves superheroes? you know, so it's like the one thing I need to understand is what was the comet about when it hit the ground? Remember, she was like buying the people out of the property.
I think
that was Ozymandias crashing.
Yeah, I think it's his thing landing.
Ooh, okay.
But that still doesn't make sense. I'm still a little confused on the timeline and all of that.
You know what?
Like, she bought that land, and then but now you see now it's all developed. I'm like, wait, how long did that take?
That's the thing, like, because that's why I don't know if it's him or not. But I don't know about that. But like, she built that whole town up, really, right? So
yeah, so that's why I'm like, there's another season over. There's some iffy things. I'm like, all right, looking back, I'm like, some of these things don't really match up.
Yeah, it ain't perfect. We can break it down and find problems. Like he was in there for 10 years. He was in space for 8, and then I think she left him in the gold-plated thing, which Akil predicted for sure a long time ago. And I think he got left in that for like 2 years. Like he landed, and then she was like, I'm gonna leave him on ice till I actually finish the project. You know, like
rub it in his face.
Yeah, I think she just left him on ice, chilling.
Hey man, that's figures he gets to live longer, so he's all good.
Are you guys okay with me talking about Doomsday Clock?
Yeah.
I read that the other day. Yeah.
Okay, so long story short, Dr. Manhattan gets inspired by Superman because like Superman is in these odds where he doesn't have the same powers as him, but he still has humanity and the will to fight and the will to do good. And Dr. Manhattan finally just has that aha moment, as Oprah would say, where he's just like, maybe I should do some positivity, do something good in this world.
Maybe I should do something.
Do something. So apparently he's made a lot of changes to the metaverse. So he went back, he redid all of those. They go back to the first like appearance of Superman, which is like 1932?
39.
I knew Jarvis, nerdy ass, would know. 39. Yeah. He's like, fucking right, dude.
The way he said 30, he's like 39, you dumbass.
39. So yeah, they go back to that, and basically throughout these different multiverses, they show you Superman coming to Earth, and he's like being the pivotal moment where metahumans arrive afterwards. Because Superman, and then from Superman you have the Flash, and then from Flash you have Speed Force that creates the multiverse. Yeah. Long story short, at the end of the book, you remember that guy, the mime, him and his wife?
Mm-hmm.
They took his son, and basically he gives his son the powers of Dr. Manhattan, but he takes the template of Superman, like basically being a decent person and raising your kid right.
Yeah.
So they do that, and they raise him right, and he ends up looking like Clark with the powers of Dr. Manhattan, with the Manhattan symbol on his head.
Yeah.
So he's going to be like the Dr. Manhattan / Superman.
Yeah. It's kind of slapped together. This was an epic comic, but this ending was kind of disappointing to me.
No. Now go back to the first cover of Rebirth, and you see Superman like reaching and touching the hand.
Yeah, I know that was Dr.
Manhattan. That's Dr. Manhattan's hand. Like,
but I knew that when I saw it, though.
Touch the hand right there.
I knew I thought they wanted us to assume, like, we know from the reading this that we know he created the Rebirth comics. Like, he's the starting point of this whole thing. But it feels like at the end they just wanted to shovel in Legion comics that they're trying to push hard. They're trying to shovel in and reboot a lot of the stories and stuff like that. And it just felt like part of me kind of wanted to see that cheap ass fight, them go blow for a little while instead of him saving, punching some guy that probably would have had no effect on Dr. Manhattan.
But Dr. Manhattan was ready to eat that punch. He's just like, I'm bored.
Yeah, he definitely was.
He was ready for the money shot, man. Like he was.
I don't want a spin-off type of ending from Watchmen. You know what I mean?
I don't think we're getting a spin-off of this. Nah.
It feels like they're trying to put the Watchmen characters into the DC comic book regular stuff now, and they're trying to spin it off into. That's what
I like Batman and Reggie. Do you like Batman and Reggie?
I liked it, but I just
nigga damn Reggie's
kind of disappointing though.
I don't like. I don't like
a pipe in the back of the head. Like I swear he's supposed to be like have some sort of fighting ability or something. He caught that pipe like it almost hit his nose and it hit him in the back of the head.
He's an ambitious black man with the costume. That's all he got.
That character fell apart, man, in the comic. He started off so dope. I was looking on Amazon for costumes and shit. He was like Finn kind of, bait and switch. But
oh god.
Yeah, the last one was all right. I don't know, man. I don't know if these writers can wrap shit up properly. They're having trouble wrapping stuff. You know what I mean?
I have problem wrapping stuff. My wife's pregnant. Podcast now with this baby. I'll have to take the month of February off.
Nice. So yeah, how'd you feel about the comic in totality? All chapters of this delayed story.
Took a while. Didn't it start in 2017, like November?
Yeah, 2017. I think so.
God.
Delayed like for 3-4 months.
Oh man.
That's Gary. What's his face? Artist Gary Frank always takes forever. I was like, I knew this was gonna happen. I didn't think this bad, but I knew it was gonna get delayed a bunch.
He said, I'm gonna take my time, damn it.
To me, it felt like the flagship comic book of DC. Like the new, like this is where we're at. And you can't be late with the flagship, man. Like I understand like a side-off story or something where it's awesome story and that's delayed, that's fine. But if it's like the flagship story where this is what's gonna be navigating the entire DC comic books, like you can't be late on your homework for that, man. You know what I mean?
Like it's here.
Yeah, I forgot. They were like, yeah, coming December 17th, and I was like, holy shit, it's been 3 months. What the hell?
On a side note, I did like the Frank Miller Superman run. Because I don't like Superman. I'm not a fan.
You like what? Superman Year One? You like that? Oh,
yeah, I liked it until book 3 got done.
You read the first one.
Book 1, book 2 were good because like he went to Atlantis, he was banging out a mermaid. It's like cool. They taught you. They show you like his inner thoughts and how he like learned how to breathe underwater. All that was dope. Book 3 is going good because they're building up this anticipation of him meeting Batman. They're about to fight because they don't get along with each other. Out of nowhere, Wonder Woman, they never even met her before, but she just grabs Superman's hand. He's like, "Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop right now and think about your actions." And they're like, "You know what, lady who we just met? You are right. Let's think about what we're doing and start a league." I was like, "What bullshit is this?" Like,
well, that's Frank Miller for you.
It was so like the book was going good until that moment. I was like, "What the hell is this?" Like it just dropped all momentum at that moment. They didn't even mention Wonder Woman before, but she showed up to like she knew where they were, and she knew to grab Superman's arm and be like, "Hey, this is not the way." I was like, "The hell is it? What?"
They're doing something, man.
Like,
did she have a mohawk in that comic?
It's Frank Miller.
That's no. That's like there's the one where Batman's like a mental patient going on right now, where he's walking around with the Joker's head in the jar.
That's the one I saw. Yeah,
that's the last night on Earth.
Yeah,
that was kind of dope. Still, that's like a New 52 ending. If it didn't end, like if it didn't get cut short, they ended it. That shit was kind of crazy. That was a crazy one.
Yeah, that was actually good. Unlike that.
Yeah, that shit was hard.
Superman Year One nonsense.
Now they do a movie of that rated R.
Oh god. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Because he's the real Batman, the actual one he's the Batman of the Batmans. That was dope, man. I mean, check that comic book out.
No condom. I'm in there.
Yeah, Wonder Woman be popping up out of nowhere.
Jarvis, what you know about that?
About what?
No condoms, boss.
Man,
you ain't got no time for your shit.
I don't know. This is on YouTube. I ain't saying nothing like that. Like, who's gonna hear this?
Your mom. It's weird. This is a weird thing. When you're an adult and you like get your wife pregnant and you have kids or whatever, like family members are like, "Congrats." But it's such a weird congrats because they're like basically coming to you saying, "Good job for not using the condom on your wife, dog." It's the weird. It's like, "Good job, son." Like, good job. What? What actually did I do? What are
you've been trying to stop me from doing this for half my life.
All these years, and the one time I do it, now you want to congratulate me.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Jarvis. Your time will come. You've been doing Harry Potter school balls. How are those Harry Potter balls you go to?
They're okay. That's all I gotta say.
Drama.
That's all I'll say.
Some pictures gonna surface on the internet, huh?
No, pictures. Just people after me. That's all I gotta say.
Got somebody pregnant out there. Okay, Jarvis. Living up to that old sly name of yours. All right.
Yeah.
What else we got on the Cuzzle?
We got a new Christopher Nolan film called Tenet. When I think of tenants, I think of living in an apartment. I think of black people. I think of gentrification. Guess what? We got a black man and a white man being tenants. What's about to happen? I don't know. Starring David, what's his name? David Washington? John David Washington? John David. That sounds like Sir John David. Like he works at a damn like he's a lumberjack or something like that. Sir John. Sir John David.
Got his blessings from the Queen. That's how his name sounds.
Damn right. And it also has my boy, Batman. What's his name?
Robert Pattinson.
What's that young boy's name? I sound like an old man. What that boy's name is? Pattinson. So let's watch this trailer. We're gonna discuss. I have no idea what's going on. We're gonna
talk in between so we don't get copyright infringement.
Oh yes. Make sure we talk. Okay, Dark Knight intro.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Well, he always does that, man. That's the film about Christopher Nolan nowadays.
I'm never paying rent.
That's kind of dope.
Yeah, man.
Got a silencer.
All right.
Rolex.
He just had Taco Bell right there.
That Popeye sandwich did this to him.
You want that chicken sandwich, didn't you, boy?
It's future time. It's in the future.
The girl then gave him that nasty girl disease. I know. I've been there. Been there. From the man that gave you the
I'm
Dark
excited.
Knight trilogy. He sounds just like his dad.
Yeah, he can't dodge it. He's trying so hard.
He's like his mom, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like his mom. Sounds like his dad.
It's crazy. He's acting his ass off, but he can't act different than his dad. He can't dodge it.
I mean, he's stuck in that shadow. It's all good.
Yeah.
That's a good shadow.
He's still great. Yeah. 2020. Oh my God. Do we have the money for 2020?
All right. It looks like time is reversing.
Okay. Oh, who's back?
That's a slow. What in the ass? Never.
Oh.
John David.
So it looks like they snuck up to the building to talk to that lady.
Patterson's over there. Did that boy gain weight yet?
Patterson's the bad guy. Oh no, they're partners. Okay.
They high. They on some Molly. They on that lean. They've been listening to too much Future.
Tenet.
That's what that is. You see how they do that? How the word like merges together? Maybe they're in a time loop.
Yeah, reversed. Time runs out.
All right. I'm intrigued. It looks good. I'm a support it.
I got no idea what that trailer did or what it's about, but it looks great. Like Nolan always knocks it out of the park, so it's getting my money.
What do you think, Jarvis?
It looks good. I didn't like his last two films, but this looks better than those. It looks like got me more hooked.
What was Nolan's last two films?
Dunkirk and Interstellar.
Yeah, I didn't like Interstellar.
Dunkirk. I liked Interstellar. I didn't dislike it.
Okay, that's a little too harsh. I like Dunkirk was. I don't know. I think Dunkirk was okay for what it was, but as a movie, I don't think it was good.
Yeah, well, I didn't see it, but I heard that's like a British history story that they teach them in school and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's more impactful to his culture. But for America and Canada, you know, it's like, you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, hey, Tom Hardy's here. I'm like, I guess for like 5 seconds. I'm like, all right, here's Cillian Murphy for like 2 seconds. I'm like, what's all these people showing up for no reason?
Yeah, I gotta check that movie out. I think it's on Netflix actually. So I'm
like I said, that's something they teach you, like they just take the kids out to see in the IMAX sign for schools. I'm like, as a movie, I was like, I don't like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Interstellar was kind of nothing to me. I did not like Interstellar.
Interstellar reminded me kind of like a Beatles song. Like it was more about love. Love is the answer. You know, like that type of thing. It was a movie version of that type of concept going through space. Because like really, like you can't like physically figure out how to do what they did to make all these questions and then answer them. You can't pull that off. So I think he just went the safe route and he was like, yo, love's the answer.
With that movie, like it gets a lot of deadbeat dads happy because they're like, yo, I could dodge my kids for so many years. And by the time I get back on Earth, they're gonna be old. And you know, when they want that child support, I just go back in space. So it's a duck and dodge type of thing. I respect that. Sign up for Trump's Space Force. You're like, shit.
Oh yeah. Space Force.
Space Force sounds lit.
Kind of does. I'm not gonna front. You know, you get guns too. It's the States.
Hell yeah, for no reason. Like, hey,
guns and backpacks with rockets.
We're just gonna go check out the moon, but we're bringing a rocket launcher with us.
Got to shoot something just in case.
Shoot some rocks. We don't give a shit. I feel like if we were to ever encounter aliens, that we're gonna just shoot them regardless. They're like, hey, how's it? Oh shit! Oh. That was
so the just watching.
I'm just trying to say, hey. Catch a bullet.
Yeah, that's why they're watching this planet. Like, we ain't going to that redneck planet.
Ain't going to ghetto ass Earth.
Exactly.
Ghetto ass planet. Oh, all right. I wanted to talk about game companies this year. Who were the best? Who were the worst? I want to hit you guys with the best first. Okay. My top game company of this year is Capcom. I felt like Capcom came strong. They came with Devil May Cry 5, which I thought was a flawless hack and slash. And then they said, hey, we're going to remake Resident Evil 2. We ain't going to remaster it. We're going to build it from the ground up. And they did a damn good job when they built it from the ground up. So we had that, which was a dope game. Yeah. What else we have? And Street Fighter. Released... Oh,
real quick. Street Fighter Honestly, it started off real rocky, but it's been doing a like continual play as pay as you buy you want, fight and get the costumes. They've been doing great things with tournaments like the Capcom Cup. They've been and all these gaming EGLXs and all these things around the world. This Street Fighter V as a PS5 exclusive was very risky, but what they did, now they dropped the complete version. You could pre-order. It comes out February 22nd with the with the final character, the 40th character. But you get everything. You get every costume, every stage, all the music, everything that comes with the game, the complete version for $29. So I copped it. I love that game. I love Capcom. So what they've been doing this year was phenomenal, man. I'm super happy with it.
I think they came correct this year. People kept asking for a Resident Evil 3 remake, and they kept hinting at this online multiplayer game. People were like, I'm not sure if I want that shit. They said, don't worry. We're going to give you Resident Evil 3, and this is going to be a little add-on multiplayer. You can bullshit with this, but the bread and butter is right here with the main game that we remade.
And the way they did the trailer, too.
Move right there.
The way they did the trailer also was so slick. Like, they put the little part at the end that they were talking about as the prime meal for so long. They put that, like, it's also here. Don't forget this online game. If you want to play that, it's there, too. But they put Resident Evil 3 as the prime thing. So that was dope in the trailer. Dino Crisis, though, where you at?
They just trademarked Dino Crisis.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, they just trademarked Dino Crisis.
It's coming.
I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You know, companies like to renew trademarks just because they don't want anybody else to take it up.
Yeah, that's a fact. But I see money on the floor right there. People will buy it.
Hey, I give it a shot. I haven't played Dino Crisis, I'm about 21 years now. I'm like, I'll replay it.
Yeah. Now, if you guys are watching this trailer, I'm not sure if they're gonna give us a mix of first person and third person, but I'm not sure if I can handle Nemesis chasing me in first person. I'm not about that life.
I think this is strictly trailer style right here.
Yeah, I think that was just for the trailer, just so because I don't think they wanted to show what it was at first. So I think that's why they did that.
Well, they added the first person mode to Resident Evil 2, so maybe they just transferred that same game engine, the same everything to this game, and maybe it still has the same capabilities.
I mean, more than likely, it's probably built like they did the original 2 and 3 with this same engine and everything. They just made them on the side.
Yeah, I heard a rumor that they're working on both at the same time. Both games are actually supposed to come out at the same time, but they decided to split them off because when creating the game, they realized they had so much content. They were like, let's just double up and make more money off of it. That's why it's coming out so quick in an exact year from the last release.
You know, Resident Evil 3 was my least favorite, so I was like, whatever.
Resident Evil 2 was?
No, 3.
Oh, 3. 3 was cool.
3 wasn't good. Come on, let's stop.
At the time, it was cool. I had that back in the day. I was like, yeah, it's cool. It wasn't as great or as impactful as part 2, but it was definitely up there. It's not. Come on. What else is better than 2 and 3?
Code Veronica is better than 3.
Which one?
Code Veronica.
Code Veronica. Okay.
Yeah.
That's on GameCube, right?
Exclusive. Oh, no, PlayStation 2.
Oh, okay.
No, remember that came out for the Dreamcast for thing with the PlayStation 2.
Oh, okay.
God damn it, Jarvis! I hate you.
What? I mean, I'm saying,
I'm
a Wesker fanboy. All right, Wesker's my favorite character, so I can just know this.
Just want to let you know, Jarvis, I hate you.
Resident Evil 4 was good, also the one that came out on GameCube. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yes,
that was good. Yeah.
It was an escort mission at times, but it was an enjoyable escort mission. Now, let's talk about worst companies. I think I have a tie. I have BioWare and Bethesda together as one shitty company. Chime in, Jarvis. What do you have?
Would you call BioWare? I mean, they're like a developer more than like a company.
Okay, all right. Shitty developer, BioWare, shitty company, Bethesda. Is that fair?
No, I would say Bethesda, but I can't say that word.
Bethesda.
Yeah, whatever. That they dropped the ball this year, so yeah.
Anthem dropped the ball. So like when they did the E3 trailer, everybody was excited. They're like, "Hey, we have this Iron Man mech suit type shooter, a looter shooter. This is going to be great. It's going to have a dope story." BioWare dropped the ball with the last Mass Effect, so this is their redemption story. And this wasn't it. It was plagued with technical issues. We had a ton of microtransactions to the point of in the story, there's a character that tells you about microtransactions, and he's like, "Hey, you need to come here and get some microtransactions and buy some armor." And your in-game character says, "You know what? I will."
Disrespect.
As you navigate the menu in the game, the first thing you see is microtransactions.
I don't know how Respawn like survived EA, man. Like BioWare is just like I would have thought BioWare would have been the developers that were on the rise and like above everything else right now from EA. I never saw Respawn coming with such amazing games that they've been dropping. But like this is disappointing. This game was I'm not even buying this for $10. Like I see it on sale, $10. I still don't even want to buy it because I'm just like, man, y'all dropped the ball.
All right, so the other company that completely shit the bed, I'm going to go with good old Bethesda. Now, on the plus side, we do have Obsidian, who worked on Fallout 3. They've also done Outer Worlds, and they're basically like, hey, this is what Bethesda was able to do. We did it. We're not a AAA. I believe they're a AA company, not AAA. Outer Worlds was a good game. Now, Fallout 76, complete shit show. Technical issues. They also have a 1-year subscription. I believe it's like $80, where you get your own private room where you can have all your buddies play together, and you don't have to worry about the nonsense of other players. But hey, here's the catch: nobody else is playing this shitty game. Exactly. So why pay this $80 and invest that when nobody's playing it? They gave us a promising trailer, but there's no NPCs in the game. I believe there's an update that was supposed to come out in November with NPCs. But other than that, you're just reading like people's like lost texts, talking to a robot here and there, and just interacting with real douchebags in the game.
These guys, I love Bethesda, man. This year they really dropped the ball, especially with the delay of Doom, man. That just sucks for them for this year. You know, I'm excited to play that still, but that really hurt them for this year. That's why I don't want to say it, but yeah, they definitely messed up this year bad. This whole rollout was bad. This game's whole rollout from the DLC pack, the collector's edition bag they're supposed to get, the mask in the collector's edition, like everything just went wrong with this. I feel like honestly they might not have been passionate to make this. They're probably pushed by investors because all these types of games are doing well right now. So they're like, let's try and make something like this, an in-world game. And so everybody who's playing Fallout will jump into this. But I honestly think this should have been a DLC to Fallout. And I think it would have been more successful because if people already bought the game, it's just an easy $15-$20 and you just transfer all your stuff over to this. And it's an incredible update. You get what I mean? Like,
the other thing I was looking forward to was maybe possibly bringing Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3 to the Nintendo Switch. I felt like that would have been a good, easy port, possible because since they ported Skyrim, so Fallout 3 wouldn't have been impossible. Neither would have Fallout New Vegas. It would have brought a new generation of gamers to that, and people. I haven't seen a Fallout game on Nintendo platform, so that would have been a big deal. So they never did that. They never fall through with that. They released a mobile game that was mediocre for Skyrim. It was like Elder Scroll. I think it was one of the fractions in the game. The faction, the Blades, I believe is who you got to play as. That wasn't well received. So, yeah, Bethesda, they shit the bed. They rolled in it. They rubbed it in their face. But and they got to pay the consequences with it. Next year's looking promising. We got the Xbox Series X. It's a terrible name. But hardware-wise, it looks okay. It's too big to me. To me, my personal opinion, I don't see the point in investing in it since Xbox puts all their games on PC as well. You might as well take whatever. Let's guess the price point. I'm thinking from between $500 to $700, in between there. You can take that money and put it US. Because the Xbox X was $500 when it first came out, and the Series X is going to have better hardware than that. So I'm guessing it's going to be at least $500 to $700. So I feel like you take that money, invest that into a PC tower, build you a PC, get you Game Pass so you can play these same games, get you an Xbox controller, you have the same Xbox experience with a PC. Boom.
Yeah, that's always been what gaming's, gaming versus PC's always been that issue.
But that's not always the case, though, because with PlayStation, they create exclusives that are solely only for their console. Nintendo, they create exclusives that are solely for their console, not on PC. So you
Mhm.
can't get that experience on PC. Xbox, they're whoring themselves out. You could get the same game experience on PC with better graphics, better
Yeah.
online that is free, customize your hardware, and you can use that same Xbox controller you love on a PC.
Yeah, I think they're transitioning to the streaming service, the online, that whole Google Stadia type of style.
xCloud,
Yeah, I think that's what
yeah.
they're trying to do. This system, if it is $9.99 Canadian dollars, ain't nobody in Canada buying that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Most they could charge on a new console is $4.99 Canadian. That's the furthest people are gonna go.
All right,
That
so
any
it's
further, and you're
800
bankrupt.
Canadian. You think they're gonna buy it?
No, hell no. $7.99? Are you nuts? Do you know how much money that is? These consoles are still fine. They're not like, remember back when like Super Nintendo was out and then 64 came out and it was such a big leap in like,
Oh yeah,
it's not that
yeah,
right now.
graphics and
We're in a
everything,
moment of like they gotta do like what the cell phones are doing. They gotta have Series X, Series A, Series B. You know, and it just gets cheaper and cheaper in value. But you could still pay your $10 a month, and you could play every game that we have, old games and new games, but they're not going to be as pretty as they are on the Series X. That's their only strategy. If they want to drop it for $6.99, you see what happened to PS3 when they tried that high hoity-toity shit.
shit
So,
hit them the whole ass when they released
yeah,
that
man.
PlayStation 3.
So yeah, they can't do that. They can't. And I agree with you. Yeah, you could always get a PC that's way more powerful that could slap the shit out of a video gaming console. But the gaming console's got them exclusives
I'm
and
good
they
with
got
my
everything.
Switch, man. I
Pop
can
it in and it works.
take a shit and play my game.
Yeah,
You
me
can't
too.
beat that, man.
Yeah, I know.
Jarvis, I want to hear your comments on this.
I got no comment because I don't play no Xbox. I'm like, whatever. I'm like,
Steel sharpens steel, though, man. We need to have another
Exactly.
competitor
I know.
because
I'm like,
PlayStation will run amok on us. If
think-
Xbox dies, PlayStation will be like, price gone up, games price has gone up. Our games are like this God of whatever they're coming with. That game looks kind of lackluster, man. I ain't gonna lie. You guys saw that? So like they're gonna drop games like that on us. They're not gonna be trying to go hard to create the God of Wars. They're gonna bring these whatever games where we're just like, oh
God
Lord.
of paper.
Yeah. Let me look up and see what that game was that was announced at the Game Award, but it did not look that great, man.
Mache. They showed the on the Xbox. They showed the Cinema. Is that the name of her?
Godfall.
Godfall. Remember that game we played with the girl with the mental illness and she's a Viking?
Yeah.
Cinema. Yeah, they have the
they tried to
sequel to that for
Hellblade
Xbox
or something like that.
Yeah, Hellblade. There you go.
Hellblade. Yeah, Xbox jacked that from PlayStation, but that's that's a like a AA game. It's not a AAA game. So you could put millions and millions into this game, but how much bigger are you going to make it? It's a hallway game that's illusion to be outside. You get what I mean? Like it's not a God of War. Yeah, so it's like you're really going to try to that's your first bullet you're shooting at us? That's not the first thing I want to see. I want to see something that gives me that Halo feel, like that. It's not Halo, but it gives me that like
no feels, man. Like Master Chief was in the spaceship talking to a Mexican dude working on the plane. I was just like, what the hell is this?
I'm not saying Halo, but I'm saying that Halo feel, like that team with Xbox, the first Xbox, where you're like, what is this? Like the world looks so big, you can see grass. Like what the hell's going on? The aliens are flying from space with huge ships like Star Wars. Like this is amazing. That game ain't gonna give us that feel. It's not. It's gonna be a fun experience that people are gonna buy it because they want a new console, and they're gonna be like, "That was cool. I didn't really get it. I think I gotta go get Game Pass for $10 a month so I can go play the old one." But I don't know if is that even on Xbox? You know what I mean? So should be by now, right? The contract should be up from PlayStation.
Yeah, Game Pass is great. That's the best thing Xbox have. I have an Xbox. I treat it like a redhead stepchild. And when I got Game Pass, it was great because I was able to play Outer Worlds. I was able to play Gears of War 5. Several titles that I always wanted to try out. I was able to try out. And they do these like free, like 1-2 months or whatever for either free or for $1. It's like crackhead prices. So you try it and you get your toes in that game. You're like, damn, this is good. I'm either going to invest in Game Pass or I'm going to turn around and buy this game now since I'm addicted to it now.
Yeah, I'm hoping that PlayStation learns from Game Pass, copies that format, just like they did with the whole online services, their PSN network. I hope they copy what Xbox did with this also, and I hope that they figure out a way to make their controllers like the Xbox like controller with that vibration in the fingers. You know what I mean? And the triggers, all that, all those little details. Because that Xbox controller, I love the PlayStation controller, but I can't front that Xbox controller is way better.
I ain't gonna lie, my favorite controller right now is the Nintendo Pro controller.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I never charged that thing, man.
Yeah, they took the best of both worlds. They're like, all right,
sure did.
How do we make it cheaper and put a bigger battery? All right, yeah, put bigger buttons. Yeah, that works. You know,
the funny thing is, on the Xbox, not the Xbox, the Nintendo Pro controller, it's you see through it. If you look through the back, there's a little writing on it and it says thank you. They're thanking you for buying the controller. Because it's overpriced. It's $69.99 over here for the controller. Yeah, so they're just like, thank you. Thank you for buying.
I want to see them have it. What are your expectations for the PS5, Xbox One?
I think they're going to have similar hardware, and it's going to come down to games at the end of the day. They're both going to have 4K Blu-ray players. They're both going to have similar online services. Mm-hmm. You think they're going to have 8K?
They better have something to 8K upres or some future proofing. 8K is right around the corner, man.
I think the future is going to be streaming, like kind of like Google Stadia, but more refined, where it actually works properly.
Yeah. I hope that they use like Thunderbolt plugins or USB-C at least. I hope that they don't use proprietary plugins that bottleneck their like success, because that's a thing that PlayStation has always done with their Vita. They had like proprietary charging plugs and memory sticks you had to use. I hope they just diminish that whole style of trying to be this high-end thing and just try to get this stuff into as many people's houses as possible.
I think the future of gaming is going to be paying for cloud space, like having like a allotted space of cloud set specifically for you and for your gaming console, and then that you pay for. I think that's going to be the future of gaming. But they can always like bypass that by using external hard drives. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. But I feel like some type of way, maybe they're going to have an update where like we don't use the USB. USBs are gone. We're using USCs, and it's not going to connect to something. I don't know what the future is going to be, but I think some type of allotted cloud space we're going to be paying for subscription-wise. That's going to be the future of gaming.
The digital ski mask is already rolling on a lot of people's faces right now because they're streaming video games right now. Like Google Stadia, they opened up Pandora's box. Like they flopped, but people are like, "Yo, we stream movies. We could stream a whole game, can't we?" And they're streaming Super Nintendo, GameCube, PlayStation 1. They're streaming PlayStation 2 games. Like, it's coming. Like, PlayStation 3 streaming, when that happens on these more powerful systems, imagine you could just go into your little side app and you could stream all the games you want to play. That's right there. So that's what they got to be careful of, because they can make these games.
The future is VPNs then.
Yeah, man. Imagine you got all your Nintendo games on your like PlayStation 5 and you're just like, bong, I'm just playing these in the cloud. I'm in a hotel right now. You know what I mean? Like, they got to be very careful with what they do. That's all I got to say, because streaming's coming. I can't wait for the ray tracing, all that type of tech.
No, that scares the shit out of me.
Nah, man, because the older games like PS1 classics, if they put those in ray tracing, PS2 classics, pretty them up, make them look a little bit better. I think that'll be big for the next for our generation's kids to be able to play those games and be like, hey, this game is fun, and then bring up new IPs. Like, remember that vampire game where you had the mask on for PlayStation? That's a whole like thing that they could like re-bring out right now, and like people never heard of it. You know what I mean? So if they ray trace those games and make them a classic, like they see people are into it, they could be like, oh shit, let's make that game. Let's invest in that. I kind of honestly want to see them be able to see our data, to see what we play the most, what characters we buy the most, so that they can make the games better for us. I don't want them to see the underwear I'm rocking while I'm playing the video game with this VR shit.
I was about to say, like, I don't need to see everything.
But I don't want them to make the PS5 like, oh, we put the cameras in your console so you don't have to buy the camera so we can see what you're doing. We can see what you're doing all the time. It's like, nah, man, I like to play my games buck naked sometimes. I don't want you seeing everything. You know what I mean? That's why I didn't get VR, because I don't want the camera on me all the time. PlayStation. But I feel they're going to try to focus on that, and that's going to be their downfall, man. They're gonna be like, nah, we got the VR built in now in the system, so you don't got to go buy this and that. You can just buy the headset, and it's already ready to go. I don't want it ready to go. I want to have to buy.
That's true. Xbox doesn't have a VR interface yet. Like
PlayStation does.
PlayStation does. It's not up to par with the Oculus.
No,
I'm not sure if the new hardware is going to help.
That's what they're focused. I have a feeling they're focusing hard.
They're
focused
hard on VR.
Yeah, but in a right way.
I think so.
You don't think so, Jarvis?
Nah, because like remember it seems like they learned their lesson from what was that the eye thing from PlayStation 3.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Remember that didn't do super hot. So remember they took like baby steps with VR, PS4. And I feel like they're just gonna keep going, like taking like little steps in some PS5. Yeah, that'll probably be VR ready to go.
But Jarvis, if you look at the VR, they incorporated the camera from that eye and just added those little ball things from the Move, and they failed with the Move, and they took the stuff from Move and they incorporated. So every time they take an L, they don't scrap that stuff. They just refine that and add it to what's next.
So I mean, you had the sensors built in your system, so it's automatically shooting your room. You don't have to buy the camera; it's already has the sensors in there.
But I mean, isn't the VR technically like? I know it's not like a huge success, but isn't the PSVR kind of a success?
Yeah, it's a moderate success.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say
it's doing better than they expected.
Yeah, I'm like, that VR is gonna come no matter what. So I'm like, yeah, it's here.
Man, I need you to be more optimistic, Jr. Because I'm gonna send you some VR porn, and I know you're gonna indulge in it.
I mean, it depends who's in it, and like.
You have some recommendations for me because I got the time now. I'm off now. I got the time. I found a Grinch. I found a Grinch one.
Into. No, I don't like the ones based off movies. Those aren't my thing.
All right. I like the thickness when the girls have some thickness on them. BBW is a little too much.
I read the Bible. I don't partake in these types of things. But if you were to search for one,
Ebony. The only time I search for Ebony.
I don't know. Just say Anna Fox. Let's just say that.
The only Ebonies I know, you either a hood rat or you looking for a porn category. That's the only.
Nah, they got a little better with that lately. I noticed.
What they call it now? They don't call it Ebony.
No, they still do, but they only play with those stereotypes as much anymore, which I appreciate.
You're at your house watching that interracial chubby BBC action.
No, I don't watch that. Sometimes, but not all the time.
Nasty.
I'm saying that's it's a rabbit hole. Sometimes you click on one thing, you see another thing, and catch your interest, and it's like you got 50 tabs open. It just happens.
Sometimes I watch for the storyline. Storylines are good sometimes.
Lies.
They are, man. Very insightful. I was watching. Let me go off the rails for a second. I was watching Hoarders, and it was a guy on Hoarders, and his sisters came to clean his house, and he said, "My guy is just sweating. He's just like, oh my god, I hope they don't find my stuff." And they're just like, "Look, Kevin, we know that you're in the porn. It's no problem. If you run into it, it's no big deal." So they're searching through my guy's stuff. They find some porn, voluptuous porn, blah blah blah. My guy got stacks of porn. So they find this porn. He's just like, thank God, it's just my porn to find. So they're searching some more. Find a big old dildo. They find high heels. They find a wig. And then they find a drawer full of women's panties. They don't know if it's his panties or he's been collecting other women's panties.
Man, fuck those bitches. He's a grown man. Let him live his truth.
Let him be.
They're mad at him. They're mad at him yelling, "You're disgusting. You should have warned us before we cleaned your house."
Shut the fuck up.
I was like, the man's a hoarder. It's not like he's like, "Oh, I've been collecting all this other stuff. Let me not collect panties." Of course he's gonna collect panties.
He's like, "Did you find a dead body though? Get the fuck out of my house."
The dead cat you walked over didn't bother you, but my panties did.
Yeah.
I was like, let this man live. Clearly he got the problem.
Yeah. At least he ain't hurting nobody.
Well, when he started sweating, I looked at my wife. He started betting. I was like, "What do you think it is? You think it's a drug problem, or he got some type of like dildos or some shit?" It's just like drugs. He's all fidgety. I was like, "You judging that white man? He got a dildo. He got a dildo," and I was right.
Damn, should have bet money on it.
I should have, man. See, Sometimes you gotta use prejudice to your advantage. All right, what's next on the docket?
We got
movies. Talk about some movies real quick. Casey, I'm gonna let you go because I'm having like a mind fart right now of movies.
What do you mean?
Of like movies I liked. I know some disappointments.
Oh, movies you liked and movies you didn't like? Okay. I just put the
Once
timestamp.
Upon a Time in Hollywood was a disappointment for me. It was very hyped. Yeah. You got that whole Quentin Tarantino thing. I felt like it was 3 dope scenes. And other than that, it was just like no sense of direction. It's just all over the place. It's just those 3 dope scenes, which included the Bruce Lee scene was dope. The meltdown of DiCaprio's character when he was having the meltdown in the dressing room, that was dope. And then the final scene, the brutal Sharon Tate murder that we were supposed to see, but they did switcheroo on this. That was dope. Other than that, you can fast forward the rest of the movie.
I'm in the middle between you two. I'm like, I think it's running 3, but I wasn't too impressed with the movie.
I don't know. I always wonder, like, do older people see the world differently than us? Because our generation and the younger generation are fine-tuned to this whole snapshot movement and pace in video. Back in the 60s, the 70s, even the 80s a little bit, it was more of a live-in world type of viewing of things, like in these movies. Like an old Western, the pacing was much different than it is in a Western that we're watching now. Even with Star Wars, which was based on Westerns, when you're watching this new one, shit hits the ground running and you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it's not in the same pacing. So I understand why you guys feel the way you feel about that movie, but I enjoyed it because I realized it's a tribute to those old movies at the end of its time. So that's why I feel different about that movie. I appreciate the styles that he used, the actual track moving down with the camera, the smooth pacing, the scenes where he's mimicking a chase scene and he's driving just through the town, but he's the actual like Western star that these actors are trying to be like, and he's doing this shit on an everyday basis. And they're
nice, but it's a whole bunch of nothing though. That's how
that's what those movies used to be. That's what those movies used to be.
It's a tribute to those movies. No problem with. Yeah. It's just honestly, I was like, I like Brad Pitt's character. I thought Leonardo DiCaprio he really did nothing for me in the movie. I was like, there's something going on. Leonardo Brad Pitt. I was like, there's something going on with this deal. I'm gonna see more. But I was like, we gotta deal with this stuttering idiot next to him. I was like, I don't know about that.
It's the end of time.
I feel like the plot kind of meanders midway through the film, where they're showing like Sharon Tate just going to the movie theater. I didn't really add any value to the film. I thought they're like trying to humanize the character before they killed her. Spoiler alert, that doesn't happen because it's an alternate universe.
Yep.
So, you know what I did like? That kind of did the same thing as this movie, but it put some spice on it. Dolomite is my name, bitch.
This is a different type of movie, though.
Yeah, that's right there.
That's an amazing movie too. But that pacing,
that shit gave me the hustle I needed. Okay.
That movie's pacing,
hustling.
I know, I agree. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. But the pacing is modern. It's like a pacing that we watch in movies nowadays. So it's more to your vibration. You know what I mean? Like it's your style.
It's like an episode of Murder, She Wrote if it was really slow and they broke it down to 3 parts and nothing happens until the 3rd part of that episode of Murder, She Wrote. That bitch just writing for 2 episodes. But the 3rd episode, some shit gonna happen.
Nah, man, it's a tribute. So it's not your case. But I feel my disappointing movie, The Lion King. I was so disappointed with this.
I could tell you that shit. When she told them lions to get in the formation. Did you hear when she said, get in the formations to her lions? And then she told Simba, boy, bye. I said, Beyonce, why? Why did not you do this?
I was watching it like, man, they put millions of dollars into this. They could have fed the hungry in Detroit. They could have cleaned the water with that money, man.
They could have cleaned the water in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that hurt, man. That's one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. And that came out, and I was watching it like, man, there's no like real life to the animals' emotions emoted on their faces. They're so dead and robotic.
I'm so happy right now.
Yeah, it's complete opposite. Like you look at a lion on like Discovery Channel or something, and you could see when he's like scared or when he's afraid or timid or arrogant or alpha or beta. You know what I mean? You see that on their faces. You see that on their body language. This had no body language. And Disney cartoons are something that they go farther with body language. They have no budget like a real movie, so they could have them dancing on top of animals. You know what I mean? Doing wild shit. This is a 3D movie. Why didn't we see any of that? Like Aladdin, which I doubted, that actually pulled it off. They had those dance scenes where it was like, whoa, this feels like the cartoon. This feels good. It feels fun. This was like he's just trouncing through a little pond. It was like, nah, man, this isn't it.
Even though I enjoyed Aladdin, I didn't feel like Guy Ritchie added anything where I was just like, oh shit, that's a Guy Ritchie film. Like I felt like any person could have directed Aladdin. I know Jarvis is gonna hate me for saying this. I would have preferred somebody like James Gunn who would have added some color.
I don't dislike James Gunn. I just don't like.
Shut your mouth, Jarvis.
I don't dislike him. I just don't dig him like everybody else does. I'm like, all right, he did one movie I liked. You ain't talking about Slither. Where that movie he did with those slugs. You never talk about that one.
I like Slither. I feel like a James Gunn or Edgar Wright, somebody who's kind of artsy fartsy, who would have did something with the color palette and the artistry of Aladdin, would have added to the film. Because to me, it was kind of like paint by numbers Aladdin. He played it safe. And as a director, I don't feel like he added something where you're just like, oh shit, that's a Guy Ritchie shot right there.
The only thing he did was when Aladdin was flipping on the chair and he was tied in, and it did that slow-mo backwards panoramic shot where he was falling into water, I think, or something.
Yeah.
That was about it. But other than that, nothing else was Guy Ritchie where it would show him like cocking a shotgun and putting it back and show it behind his back, and then trees are blowing up while they're running in the forest. You know, like didn't have no Guy Ritchie stuff like that. But no,
you can't put Chad into the Middle East. So what else is he gonna do?
He would hit you with that magic, man. That Will Smith. Big
Jafar was definitely disappointing in that movie, man.
Yeah, he didn't seem like he wanted to be in the movie. He's just like, I guess I could kidnap this kid.
It wasn't on my worst list, but it was cool. It was a cool movie. You know, it was cool.
Everybody thought it was gonna be trash. I was like, no, this movie's okay.
It's all right. It's fine.
Yeah,
they played it safe. That's the problem. You know, they can't be playing these movies too safe. But whatever.
Well,
all right, Jarvis, your turn.
What?
Your turn, Jarvis.
My disappointment movie.
Oh, disappointment and something you like.
Well, disappointment we're gonna talk about later. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh Lord, the rise of my blood pressure.
Yeah, I'll say my. That.
That's the podcast name.
Star Wars: The Rise of My Blood Pressure.
Yeah, that was my biggest.
Oh Lord have mercy.
I'm trying to think. Like biggest surprise. I mean, I'll just say Shazam is probably my biggest surprise of the year.
Shazam was good. I enjoyed Shazam. I know
I really didn't. You know, they really underplayed those trailers and everything. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is actually better than I thought. I wouldn't say it was like blew my mind away, but I just kind of went with nothing. I was like, oh, I was really pleasantly surprised by this.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed Joker. I know it's a controversial thing to say. I like Joker. I liked it for what it was. I thought, that they were going to play it safe. I thought that there would have been more violence because the media was trying to make the Joker bigger and more violent than it actually was. The movie at the end of the day was a character study of a mentally ill person who at the end of the movie just so happened to put paint on his face and called him Joker. It could have been called anything because it could have just been called Arthur Fleck's Demise or Arthur Fleck's Descent into Madness, because he didn't become Joker until like the last 15 minutes of the film. And we didn't even get that criminal mastermind Joker. We kind of got like a bumbling idiot.
Winging it
with face paint. So, fuck it, I'm gonna keep rolling with it.
I get that, but like that's one of my favorite movies of the year. I love that movie. I could watch it again for sure. I ain't gonna front, like, it definitely had its problems. The writer and director, he's not like of like elitist writers of our generation. So my expectation wasn't like, oh, this guy's gonna knock it out of the park. Obviously, he stole from a lot of things to create his creation of this, but most art steals from other things anyway. So I'm not gonna knock him for doing that. Look at the movies we're getting right now. It's all a bunch of remakes. So I think that was one of the best movies of the year. I really enjoyed it in the theaters. I was wondering what the hell's going on the whole time. I was wondering if what I'm watching is real. I was wondering if what he was doing was real. I was wondering, the whole thing. It was like Pulp Fiction. You had no grasp of anything, even at the end, until he's running. You're like, was that just a joke he thought of? Like, or was this actually a linear story that is the Joker's origin story? So I gotta give it a kudos for that. That's one of my favorite movies of the year, man.
Another disappointment is gonna be It Chapter 2. They had such a strong first movie,
I didn't even see
then
that.
the movie starts off with a hate crime. Like Pennywise does some bitch shit. Like I never seen him like openly just eat an adult, but there's a gay guy getting beat. And he's just like, shit, there's a free meal, right? You're going to hook a nigga up with a hot meal for the holidays. Thank you. Like, he just grabs the gay dude. He's like, lunchtime, bitch. And eats him. And I was just like,
a little dry
like,
turkey, but I'll take it.
I was just like, I've never seen Pennywise just like go after an adult and eat them. Besides that.
I don't want to get too nerdy about that. That's my biggest problem with that movie. Like, both movies, they never went into detail. Like, Pennywise eats adults. They just never talked about it. I was like, why are they mentioning this?
They made it seem like he was like Freddy Krueger, just like
he goes after kids. But I was like,
kids, yeah.
I was like, that's something they messed up, and like I said, in all versions of it, the adult half sucks. The book, the miniseries, and the movie.
Yep.
So I was like, when I went in there, I was like, look, this is the best of all three. So, but it's still the adult half. So I was like, it is what it is.
Money grab.
And then the black guy, man, they made him just a magical Negro. Like, everybody went on with their life and was successful. He's living upstairs in the attic of a library, paranoid. He's like, I'm gonna call my friends and I hope they comes back to help me.
He's spinning it.
He was, hey, before it, man.
But I ribbing on. I thought what's his face, the Old Spice guy. I thought he brought his A game to this world.
Oh, he was the one who was acting in.
Yeah.
The hype bubble burst on it for me, man. That red hype bubble burst, so I didn't even want to watch that movie anymore. It's like,
I don't know.
I'm good.
If you don't watch it, just watch the bleacher scene. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
That's
my
the
worst.
I
gotta say, one of my worst is Fast and the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, man. What the fuck was that?
I like that.
I love dumb fun in the theater, but they went too dumb, man.
That shit was stupid.
It went like, come on. I like dumb fun. I like popcorn, getting a little couple drinks in you and having a good time. It's a party in the theater, But this was just like, yo, man, what are you doing? Come on. Started off good. Had some good scenes. Had some cool parts, but shit was worse than 2019 in my opinion.
All right, then you know what? I gotta change my biggest disappointment because I totally forgot. That's how forgettable that movie is to me. It's gotta be Hobbs and Shaw. That movie was.
I got another one for you. X-Men: Dark Phoenix.
That was incredible movie. What are you talking about?
No, X-Men knew to wrap up. It was 2 hours. They're like, okay, we're in and out. Hobbs and Shaw's like, oh, we're at the 2 hour mark. We had reached climax. Let's
keep going
for the next 30 minutes.
My favorite scene in X-Men was Dazzler. Just seeing Dazzler show up, I was like, oh shit, you're about to dazzle this bitch up. And I was just so happy to see Dazzler. I don't know why, because she's the most useless mutant. Like, she's literally Taylor Swift of the mutant universe. And I was just happy to see Dazzler. That was the only highlight of that movie for me. I can't tell you what happened.
Was not that bad, but Hobbs and Shaw was bad, man. Like, they were just going country for nothing. Like, they had the money and they were running with it. I ain't mad at them. I'd probably make a movie like they did too. Like, yo, Akil, we got money. Let's make a movie. We got to figure out how to get to North Carolina. We got to figure out how to get to Toronto. And we got to go to Trinidad. You know what I mean? Like, let's figure this out. We got the money for the budget. But this was just like, what the hell?
Another.
How about your boy Roman Reigns showing up for no reason? I'm like, what's this dude doing?
That's his cousin, man. He got to bring his cousin out.
They were hyping for nothing. They were hyping no reason. He's a movie star. He's in there for like 2 seconds. He's just staying in the background.
Jarvis, if I do a movie and I bring you in it, you better tell everybody to hush their mouth and mind their business.
I understand why Tyrese was so mad. Cut him a check too. What the fuck? I got the bank, yo. Cut me a check.
And no, that's not the Rock's cousin. That's his fake cousin, man. They ain't his real cousin.
It's close enough. His cousin.
I could do that role. You might have done that role.
You just mad that you didn't do that role. You didn't show up. It's like, y'all niggas need help.
On a tangent. I ain't no Roman Reigns fan. That's all I gotta say. They wasted that dude for nothing. That dude ain't no star.
He literally showed up like, y'all niggas need help. That was like his one role.
Yeah.
Y'all good.
Tyrese was probably watching that on bootleg at home. Like, man, they could have put me in there. I could have
been the guy asking if they needed help, man.
Y'all hungry? I got a restaurant. Come on.
Even Kevin Hart on the toilet On the plane, that could have been Tyrese showing up like, y'all need help? I'm flying.
Been Kevin and Tyrese. Cut him a little check.
I understand him crying and all the anger and everything. It makes sense to him.
The easy $100,000 you could have made.
Like, I know I shouldn't talk about movie editing and like continuity in a Fast and Furious movie, but you know, it's like his hair. He was bald in the airplane scene. Next thing he's in the bathroom, he got a full head of hair. I was like, this is a day later.
Yeah. Like Kevin Hart like had an afro. I was like, what the
I was like,
hell?
Yeah, that's one of the worst. Definitely one of the worst.
I still won't say it's one of the worst, but man, that was dumb. I was like, this movie was just a waste of time.
I'm surprised I didn't see a mic like during the shot. Like, do you know when you're seeing movies and you see a mic?
Like in a porno or something.
Yeah. It was just the range. It had some cool shots. Like when they went into, I like the scene when The Rock went into one room. They're like, "You go in this door, I'll go in this door. No, you go in this door, I'll go in this door." And then The Rock went in, and that guy was like 8 foot tall, and he's holding the wrench, and he was throwing it. And The Rock was like looking at the wrench. I was like, "This is some dumb fun wrestling shit." I like this scene, but it had so many things. Where it's like, "Yo, what the hell? Kill this guy already!" Like they've been fighting.
You have to stand there half the time. Like, shoot him.
Like, drowned him.
It's like, oh, I'm a black Superman. I'm like, you see The Rock and Jason Statham both doing stuff he can do, and they ain't got no superpowers. I'm like, what's the point then?
Yeah, that movie was a bit much. I wanted to say Ready or Not. That was one of my favorites of this year. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. It was a surprise. I was expecting to see like a B horror movie, but I had fun. The main character wasn't an idiot. She made good decisions. The whole family dynamic was cool. The supernatural element that they added to the film was done well. I think it's a fun popcorn flick. I know that's used as a term where it's just like, oh, turn your brain off. But that's not the case with this movie. You can keep your brain on and enjoy the film. Unlike a film that I'm going to review later today. But with this one, you can keep your brain on and enjoy it.
Well, I guess a highlight for me was it Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler.
I see that. Yeah, I want to see it so bad.
Yeah.
I was like, man, cause I was like, all right, Kevin Garnett. I was like, oh, he's gonna be a cameo. No, he's in this movie a lot. I was like, okay, he can actually act.
Yeah, no, that looks good. That actually looks like a really good movie, man. Shout out to the jeweler from New York City, who's killing it, man. He's actually in that movie. Let me get his name right now. Mr. Flawless out of Manhattan, man. That guy is a huge jeweler. He makes a bunch of jewelry for people in New York and Manhattan. And he's in that movie, man. I got to check that out. I hear great things about that. Is that going to be on
Netflix? In it? Did they kill The Weeknd? I just want to see him get hurt.
Nah, The Weeknd's in like 2 scenes, I think.
Damn it, does he get hurt though?
Nah.
Just listen to his album. He's hurting himself.
I mean, it don't make sense because like, all right, this is 2011. Weeknd wasn't popping like that. I was like, well, I gotta go with it.
Oh, he's really The Weeknd in the movie?
Yeah, this is The Weeknd. Yeah, he's like, oh, this is my
2011.
Yeah,
was he high?
2011.
He probably don't even know he's in the movie. He probably like, that's what that was, man.
Was he high out of his mind in the movie? Because if he's trying to do real life story here,
look, I'm saying like it's Weeknd, it's him and a white girl. That's all I gotta say.
He loves white women.
Yeah,
he has allegedly kicked out black women out the club to have more white women in it. Allegedly.
Jesus.
He's like, where the white bitches at? This should equal out this bitch. I'm trying to see Britney. The Weeknd. What else I have on my list? Disappointment. I didn't like that third list, to Train the Dragon movie.
I didn't see that.
It really just meandered throughout the entire film. I was just like, what the hell is going on? And then the climax was kind of that moment where they're just like, we're going to part ways, but we're going to be adults and come together at the end. That shit was heartwarming at the end. But the rest of the movie was dumb. The villain was dumb and forgettable. One of the girls that's like part of his team, she kept getting captured and telling their plans to the bad guy. The whole like plot of the film was just dumb. It's just that last 10 minutes where they're adults and he's just like, yeah, man, that's my kinfolk right there flying, and they're just having that old man moment where they're like, yeah, that's my kids right here, you know, playing outside too. Where they just come together as adults. That moment's just so dope. But the rest of the film is just, it's not a good movie. I'm sorry. Oh wow. It's done well, like the animation's done well, but the plot isn't there. The villain is whack. It's not it.
Okay. I've never seen any of the How to Train a Dragon movies, so I got to check that out. It should be on Disney Plus, right?
No, that's
That's DreamWorks. Yeah.
Streamwork? Oh, okay. Shit, I ain't checking that out then.
Now, a good animated movie was Toy Story 4.
That's on my list.
That shit made me reevaluate my life. I'm like, damn, maybe I need to run away and live that dream. Like,
we had a lot of good movies this year, man.
Yeah, okay. Disappointment though. Sigma animation was the Lego movie. I did not like the second one. I did not like that at all.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all either. I agree with you.
I was like, man, this is a huge disappointment. I was like, yeah,
money grab.
Yeah.
Disappointment for me is Velvet Buzzsaw. This is when
oh, that was it. That was
Netflix.
this year?
Yeah, that was this year, man. Netflix was really like showing their chest, and they're like, "Yo, we're coming with the real movies." This was one of their first ones that they came with for the year, top of the year, and I remember being, mildly excited for it. Not excited, but like, "Oh shit, it's cool! I'm already paying for Netflix. I'm definitely gonna check this out." And I was like, "This is some bullshit." Like, what are they doing?
I'm starting to think that dude's a one-hit wonder.
Oh, Gyllenhaal?
No, the dude who wrote and directed it. He did.
Oh, okay.
He did that. Was a Nightcrawler first. Then he did that movie with Denzel Washington with the gap in his teeth and the messed up afro. I don't know.
Oh, it's like I forgot that one where he was like a lawyer or something like that.
Yeah, did that.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I don't know. I was like, maybe just one good movie in him. Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit y'all with a wild card. Are you ready for this? Dora the Explorer. This movie knew what the hell it was, and it stuck to its guns. They're like, look, we're going to give you a decent story. The main character, she's going to act her ass off. She carried the film. She brought some heart to the film. She kind of played Dora like if Dora had Asperger's. And she just really knew everything about the jungle, but had zero social skills. That's how she played Dora. It was a good family film. The action was done well. The comedy for me hit. The bad guy and the different twists and the plot twists were good. The only thing that was weird was Swiper. He was literally an animated character. Nobody questioned that. But that's the type of movie we were dealing with here, okay?
Yeah.
You turn that brain off, but you still have a good time. So that's my wild card. That's my wild one.
Oh, I mean, I guess nobody mentioned the one big disappointment. I guess because the beginning of the year was Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I didn't like Captain Marvel. I don't want people saying I'm sexist. Here's my problem with Captain Marvel. I could rant all day. I think the casting of Brie Larson wasn't good. I would have went with an older Captain Marvel casting. I would have went with a Charlize Theron. Okay, somebody who's charismatic, because the character of Carol Danvers, she's a hard character to pull because she's bitchy at times, but she got that sass and she has that swag. Now when Brie Larson's on the scene, she doesn't have any charisma. She can't really hit the jokes. Everything's just dry and boring. They also undermine the character of Nick Fury. He tells you this epic story of the last person I trust cost me my eye. He tells you that
story. That was a line he said. That was a line.
My man was lying his ass. I talking about a damn cat scratching him because he's a goofy ass. I'm like, here, little kitty. Like they made him. They had him do some Finn shit. That's something Finn would do. That was a Finn move.
Yeah. I will say, Brie Larson should have been herself in this movie. I feel like they're trying to make her be more like a Captain America evolution when she should have just been who she is in real life. Because she's charismatic in real life, man. Exactly. She got swag in real life. She looks good. Yeah, you've seen her when she's doing the host for Tonight Show. YouTube that. YouTube that. I'm telling.
I saw them.
Jamie, I saw Jamie Foxx was sitting on a chair, but I was like, yo, what the hell, Brie?
Why are like the white women? My boy Jamie.
Jamie had to take a 5 minutes of, no, you really looking beautiful. I was like, Jamie, okay, move along. But no. She has what it takes to be that character. She, in real life, is like what Captain Marvel is. So that's what tripped me out when I'm watching this movie, and she's just, like, stiff, like playing by numbers, playing it safe for old acting. She should have just been herself, like, more just chilling, like, yeah, I'm here, like... But she was too robotic, man. Yeah, so
it's just like white bread, man.
But she got it though. She has what I think they would need, but she didn't deliver that in the movie, which was so disappointing.
My girl Charlize Theron would have killed it. I'm sorry.
It was that.
Yeah, I feel you.
There's some other stuff you can just tell. You can just smell smell the reshoots on that movie because I'm like, what's
Yeah.
like Annette Bening just showing up for nothing? I was like, I don't think this was in the original script. Something don't seem right about her.
Yeah, and they dropped the ball in the last scene with the music playing that they chose.
Yeah,
I feel they dropped the ball on that.
Girl, I'm like, they
That was
picked a
too
Roper song
pandering.
for the 90s, man.
Like that's like that. I'm not a woman, you know what I mean? But that's if it was like if they just played like a black song, like black and I'm proud, I'm black and I'm black and I'm black and I'm like for the last thing for Black Panther, I'd been like, yo, what the fuck is going on here?
NWA for Black Panther.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's how I felt when that was happening. I'm like, really? Like, come on, man, that's kind of disrespectful. Like, you're too pandering to make an audience happy, but you don't know the real culture of that of women. Like, clearly you don't know what the ill song back in the day was for girls back then. It was that like, you know, I'll name the song after. It's in my head. Boom, right there, like that. If they put that in there,
something you hit me.
Yeah, I ought to know or something. Like, come on,
play
now. Green Day, play some that, play some 9 Inch Nails. They had a little bit of that, but play some Nirvana. You know what I mean? Like, if they're gonna go
whooping ass to either No Doubt or Alanis Morissette.
Nah, no,
that wasn't No Doubt song.
Well, it wasn't No Doubt. Yeah, I meant to say the Alanis Morissette.
If you're gonna play that song, play that after she robbed the dude for all his clothes or something. You know what I mean? Like, have fun with the part. But that last set piece is supposed to be the most powerful set piece.
That should have been You Ought to Know from Alanis Morissette. Her whooping ass with that.
She knows who she is now. Something like that. Play it right. If you're trying to have fun while doing a big set piece, I felt they dropped the ball on that. They dropped the ball on Samuel Jackson's whole character.
The fight choreography was whack. She's just... How many times I got to see her just blasting with the hands? She could do more than that. She knows combat.
So yeah, that definitely was a disappointing movie, unfortunately. For sure.
That movie suffered from having multiple writers, and I felt like none of the writers understood the character of Carol Danvers.
Well, I mean, multiple writers, but I think it's just Marvel wrote themselves in the corner because they made that movie. They announced that movie, but then cast her. Then she had to go film Endgame and Infinity War before she even shot this. So I think it's a whole mess they just wrote themselves into.
And that just hurt Endgame too, because it was like, I'm watching Endgame, like, what is she gonna do that's so dope? And she didn't do anything that was really epic. It was more like a MacGuffin that she was. She was just, okay, we got to get Tony Stark back. So they get her to pull him back. He's not smart enough to figure out how to get himself back. He's Tony Stark.
Even when she showed up with Peter, she's like, hi, Peter. It's such a lifeless interaction. Hi, Casey.
Like, she doesn't even know who she is yet in the role because she didn't do the actual movie. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It makes me scared.
That scene, they didn't shoot that together. So that's a whole other set of problems.
Yeah, so
Carol Danvers is supposed to be having swag. She's supposed to be having sex with War Machine. I ain't getting none of that. Man.
Joy in life, man. She's back on Earth. She's like, yo, this looks familiar. This feels good. You know, like, they didn't rock it right. They didn't.
That movie has all, like I said, that was a whole other set of problems. Like, why was it set in the 90s? There's no reason for it to be set in the past.
I don't know because I don't know. I'm excited. I'm more excited for Monica Rambeau to show up in the Scarlet Vision show than I am to see Carol Danvers again.
Look, I said, like, so maybe they'll figure it out in the sequel. That's all I hope for. Like, it happens.
I'm gonna say the statement. I said it once. Her character currently is the Iron Fist of the MCU. The same emotion, the same. I'm overpowered, privileged person. She is the Iron Fist of the. She's the Netflix Iron Fist of the MCU.
But I don't even think it's Bree's fault. I think they're just
the writers
writing her wrong.
It's the writers.
Like some writers, and it's like got two directors who went from Mississippi Grind to this. They probably got intimidated.
What's that new movie she's in with Jamie Foxx? What's that called? The Lust or something like that?
The one with Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, what's that called?
Oh, I don't know. Something about law, I think.
Because I know that my boy Jamie Foxx was lusting for some white women when he saw Brie Larson out there with that cleavage. He was like, Katie Holmes, who?
Exactly. Let me bring up another movie that I really enjoyed this year, John Wick.
John Wick. I was ready. I thought you were gonna say Miss Sumner.
It's coming. But John Wick was great, man. This is probably top 2 movie of this year for me.
But do you need a part 4?
No. This is it. We've hit the zenith of the John Wick like whole thing, man. It's downslope from here on, in my opinion. Because they're cashing out now. From here on out, I think they're just gonna cash out. Yeah. I think this raised the bar on all the set pieces that we've seen from 1 and 2 that made it dope. and they show that he uses more weapons than just guns. He throws the knives, he kills with books, he does things one-on-one with guys who are his adversaries that are equal to him. I don't know how they could raise the bar on that, but I feel they raised the bar to the furthest they could with this movie. And I don't know if they're going to go any further with raising that bar.
I feel like Halle Berry is going to keep showing up. Even though she said one last mission, she's going to show up for 4 and 5. She's like, I got one more mission in me. That check is so good. You can't say no. I feel like Halle Berry's she's going to show back up.
She's going to run the hotel. She's going to run the hotel while he's running amok, running the government, the underground.
Halle Berry's going to come right back with her dogs.
Yeah,
That's
for
too
sure.
good to let go. Way too good to let go.
They're going to fuck it up. But I really enjoyed this movie. How y'all feeling?
Jarvis, what you got?
So are we on disappointments or like what?
Whatever you want to add on
Take it
here.
where you want to take it.
Oh man, I'm trying to think. I was trying to think. Disappointment. I guess I'm just gonna say Terminator. Not just.
Oh Lord!
Hey, I didn't expect anything out of that shit, man.
I know. I mean, I kind of. I was like, but still, I was kind of like, well, this ain't bad. It's kind of meh. I think that's worse than being bad, actually. When you're just kind of like, eh.
And it sucks. Like, I was not expecting anything from this movie. Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time, like Star Wars, Return of the Empire. And I went into this not expecting shit, and then
Empire
I was like, Empire Strikes Back. Sorry, and I went in not expecting shit, and this movie was even worse than the shit I was expecting. So that sucks.
This is controversial, but I felt like, after getting off of Get Out, I felt like Us didn't hit that same level as Get Out, but it was an okay movie. I feel like Us as people overhyped that movie. And our expectations were way too high.
No, I mean, I really enjoyed Us. I ain't gonna say it's like disappointment or nothing, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree. But it's not the worst.
It's not worse. No. I think we overhyped it.
Yeah. Some people.
Another overhyped movie for me personally was Booksmart. I was expecting basically super bad with vaginas. What I got were these two entitled assholes who were mad because they didn't spend their high school career partying while their other students were partying. The highlight of the film for me was Billie Lourd, who is the actress of Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher's daughter, yeah.
Yeah, daughter, who's also in the Star Wars movie. She was the highlight of the movie. Every time she was on the screen, she would command the screen. And her comic, like every comedic scene she had, that shit hit. I was like, oh nice. Shit, yes, I'm so happy to see her. But whenever she disappeared and I had to deal with the two main girls of the film, I was just like, oh god, I gotta deal with these whiny assholes again. Like I did not care for them. I didn't care for their friendship. It was the same old super bad formula where they're just like these corny white kids who love hip hop music and they're like dancing every minute, like, let's break dance before we go to a party. Mm-hmm. That type of shit. Like I didn't really have emotional impact with them because I'm just like, you're spoiled. One character, I'm pretty sure she's not rich because she went home and their parents weren't there. I was like, oh damn, she living that rough life. Like she living the thug life. Let's further explore that. They're like, nope, let's party and try to get cool with these kids who clearly don't give a shit about you. And that's the whole film, is them trying to get the acceptance of these kids that they were mean to all year because they're so focused on their academic careers. And I didn't give a shit. I was like, this is some first world problems I don't give a shit about.
You rated it highly on the podcast.
I need to retract that shit. Now the opposite of that was Good Boys. I had a good ass time with them badass kids. That shit. I had a good ass time with them badass kids cussing. It was the same formula as Booksmarts, but with some adolescent kids. And I could really I could understand that struggle of you're really cool with your friend from elementary school, but you're like, as high school's approaching, you're going into different things. Your one friend's doing drama club, one person doing this, and you're a kid and you're learning how to cuss and all these different things, and you're learning about sex, but you don't know really what sex is. You're like, hey, that's when you piss all over a girl, right? Isn't that what sex is? Like the adolescent conversations they have, I thought was unique and funny. It wasn't just only playing on, hey, we have kids who are cussing. It was just, the movie had some heart.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta check both of those out still. They both sound funny. Maybe you don't relate to the girl movie because you're not a girl and you're a sexist piece of shit, huh? You ever think about that?
I am. That's exactly what it is. I like the gay character. There was a gay dude in the movie. He was funny as hell. I wanted to see more of him.
Nice.
He was funny as shit. And then I don't know, the supporting characters. I liked all the supporting characters. I just didn't care for those main girls.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Billy Lord was shit, man. I wanted to see a whole movie of her just going party to party because, like, she would be strung out on some drugs and they'll see her like sleeping on the floor and they're like, all right, let's go to the next party, and they'll go there and she's there dancing and it's like, damn, bitch, we saw you sleeping on the floor. How'd you get over here? Don't worry about it. Like, it's like she can teleport, and that's like the running joke of the movie. And I thought she was funny as hell. I was like, I want to see more of that.
My next best movie this summer is gonna surprise you, Akil. Starts with an M. I gotta say it. It's
The Irishman.
No. Marriage Story. No. I did this on purpose to fuck you up. Marriage Story. It's on Netflix with Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson. This movie actually surprised me, man.
I watched the last 5 minutes. She tied his shoes. I was like, all right. I put the whole movie together after that. I was like, they divorced, but at the end, she's like, I still fucks with you, but I ain't gonna fuck with you.
I don't know. You didn't see the whole end yet, man.
I'm gonna tie your shoes, you goofy ass. That's what I got from that.
No, it's a good balance of the argument. Is a good balance of why they are wanting to get divorced and what happens throughout the story. Is you can't take a side. Like, you're watching, and you're like, I kind of see where she's coming from, but then it's like, man, I don't get where she's coming from with that. But it shows like what happens through a divorce and why you should get a lawyer or why you should not get a lawyer, or how things can get messy and get ugly, man, and real ugly in the American court system, and how they're just running amok on people's money. You know what I mean? Like, the lawyers.
That's why you just gotta kill your spouse, like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
take her out on the boat.
This shit's kind of like a dark comedy. I don't know what it'd be tagged as. I don't know if it's drama, but it's kind of dark comedy. Yeah, drama comedy. It's a 2-hour movie. I think Scarlett Johansson acted her ass off, man, and Adam Driver. They both had scenes separately where they had monologues and they killed it, man. It's really heartfelt, where you feel where they're coming from. And I think it was a great movie. It deserved more than Netflix. Not to say it disrespected Netflix, but this is something I think that should have been in theaters. But because of the comic book world we're in now, the action-packed, multi-million-dollar movies that are in theaters that'll get your attention, I think it would have flopped badly. But being on Netflix is a good spot to just be like, yeah, let me check this out and see the disaster of American weddings and all that. You know what I mean? So it was a good watch. I would recommend it. It's probably one of the best movies of the year that nobody's talking about.
I felt like Uncut Gems should have been on Netflix.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not on the internet like that to be hearing conversations.
Yeah, I see a lot.
I'm gonna watch it eventually. I'm gonna watch it. I just don't want no negative vibes.
Yeah, you might not. Yeah, it's a dark comedy, so you know.
Oh Lord, I don't need that in my life.
It's one of them ones.
I'll be looking at my wife all crazy, like scheming like Scarlet.
Maybe you signed this.
You pretty much got it.
Huh?
If you saw Kramer versus Kramer, you pretty much got this movie.
Fair enough. I never seen that.
Yeah, man, you don't listen to talking about feelings. Watch that.
Okay. Have you seen Marriage Story? You watched?
Yeah, I saw both. Yeah, I seen. Yeah,
you think the monologues that they had?
Look, I got mixed feelings about Scarlett Johansson as an actress and as a person, but I think this is one of her better performances.
Surprised me.
What about Jojo Rabbit? Did you guys see that? I wanted to see it. They haven't.
Oh yeah, Jojo Rabbit was good. Yeah, that was a really good movie. Like, she's good in it, but she's not in it a lot.
Okay, I heard some things about her in there. Now, I'm gonna talk about Hustlers. They said all these great things about Hustlers. Not enough titties for me, man. I'm sorry. Not enough titties for me. I saw more of Lizzo than I did of J-Lo. They hit me with the wrong O's. They brought me in with J-Lo, and then they hit me with the Lizzo. Now, story-wise, I see this every day in Greensboro, out here finessing dudes. They didn't really have any real repercussions to it. So I was just like, live that shit. That's a Greensboro night right there, finessing somebody.
It definitely felt more PG-13 than rated R.
Yeah, because it got dark. I wanted somebody to die. Blood needed to be shed.
Yeah, I was expecting the F word a few times. That's right. That's why, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt like they would have went. I thought they would have pushed their boundaries, and like somebody would have physically got hurt. I feel like they just got slapped on the wrist, and they're just like, We'll wait a little bit, then we're gonna go back to scheming.
Yeah.
2019, here we come. New decade, 2020, here we come. New
Movie's
scheming.
cool. I wouldn't put it there with the worst. I wouldn't put it there with the best.
It was just. I would say overhyped. It'll go under the overhyped category.
Well, the only disappointment I had to start real quick was disappointment I had was Glass this year.
Oh Lord, that came out this year.
That was a dumpster fire. Fuck
that was.
It was no dumpster. I don't think it's a. I don't want to say. I don't think it's a bad movie.
Being understanding of the budget, I understand. But
all right, let me say my problems. How you take this man? The first movie, we're showing you how indestructible he is, how badass he is. This new movie comes out. This is multiple years after. He's a full-on vigilante. He's fighting people. You're in water, fighting some guy in the tank. You're holding your own. At the end of the movie, a guy with a clover drowns you in a puddle on the floor.
And who is this guy? How much strength does he have to be able to do that?
In a puddle.
We don't even see his face.
After you fought submerged underwater in a tank versus the beast, you survived the beast. But you can't survive the clover tattooed man who put your face in a pissy rain puddle. Die, Bruce Willis, die. That's how you go out? What kind of bullshit was that?
I would understood if they were trying to make it like a deep meaning where he stopped fighting and he was just like, I'm done with this. You know what I mean? But it wasn't even that. He was fighting. Yeah, he was fighting it. He was like, so. Nah, man. That movie was a flop.
Trash,
that was
man.
One of the worst. You know what movie surprised me?
I'm saying the worst. Nah.
That was definitely one of the worst.
I hated that shit.
Like I said, I think it was good up until like that final 20 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of losing me.
It got bad for me when I'm watching as a viewer and I realized, damn, they're in the same place, like the same castle-looking area this whole time. Right now they're underground. Right now they're in one room. He just rented out this one area, and this is where this whole movie is really been.
Because they hyped up this big like skyscraper that they're gonna fight at, and they're like, nah, so we ain't got the budget.
Yeah. Zooming on this 3D skyscraper. I'm like, when they get there though, who's about to be credit. Oh my gosh.
Nah, they have the budget for all that. Nah, you better settle for this parking lot.
Yeah, exactly.
We parking lot pimping in this fight. Ain't no
20,000 for 20 mil. Whew. This is 20,000.
Hey man, hey, I would like take lessons from what's his face in like Sean any day. Kyler Harry made like 60 million off of this. I'm like, okay.
All right, Jarvis, let's do one more because I'm ready to talk to Star Wars.
I got nothing. I was like, nah, that's pretty much it.
The Perfection on Netflix. That movie surprised me, man. That was good. I think people should check that out.
I think that came out before 2019, though.
Nah, it says 2019.
All right, it's in Netflix. Okay,
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But that was good. It doesn't get the great ratings, but I enjoyed it. And The Irishman in mid.
You're right. It came out April 2019. You're right.
Okay. I could be wrong, but
no, 2018.
2018. Okay. Yeah. So I gotta say The Irishman and Midsummer then. Those are my two last ones that I really enjoyed this year.
I'm the opposite of The Irishman. I was not feeling that at all.
It's too long.
Damn millennial.
And I'm not saying it's too. No, I'm not saying it's too long. I'm like, the special effects weren't holding up. I'm sorry. Like the whole de-aging thing, it works for her face, but you can see their bodies. Like, man, their bodies are old men bodies.
Yeah, it took me out of it for that part for sure. It got
I younger actor. I'm like, what are they supposed to be in the scene? Like, is he like 30? Is he 40? Is he 50? He's supposed to be 20. I was like, I'm so a little confused.
Yeah, the blue eyes, the contact lenses threw me off too.
Yeah, it's just like, man, you should just cast young actors. It's not a big deal. We would have accepted it.
Yeah. Exactly.
On my to watch list, because I probably watch it tomorrow, is The Lighthouse. I need to watch that and see where that goes on. And I didn't get to finish watching Rocket Man.
It was this year. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's an underrated film of this year.
So that's it for me with my list. I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
So what do we got next? We getting into this review or not, man? You guys
yeah, let me pull up the trailer.
All right, cool.
I have such mixed feelings about this film. I walked out the theater so happy, and then my brain turned on, and then
let's get into this review, man. Let's get into this review because we are talking about 42 years in the making of 3 trilogies in a row. Star Wars, man. And this is one of the movies that started it all for genre films, space films that really knocked it off and made this shit cool, made this popular. got the toys selling. This is the one that every generation knows, from 80 years old to 5 years old. And this is the final movie. This is what they're saying is the final movie of the Skywalker trilogies. So this is the trailer we're going through right now. She's running her ass off.
All types of powers, man, that work. They work sometimes.
She's sweating.
My guy got the braids. He found him an African woman to braid his hair.
Exactly.
Lando's a sexual predator. Surviving Lando coming soon.
Got the water scene.
Cinematography, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I give credit where credit's due. This white privilege, that's right.
I'm
white privilege, man.
Dad. My dad'll have your ass, Kylo Ren.
Oh, call my dad. My dad's a lawyer.
My daddy will have your ass.
You're coming together.
The hero of the movie, Chewbacca. Man of few words, many actions.
Risky. She's risking her life to go to some spot.
Anything to get away from Finn's black monkey ass. That's my life. I'll die in this ocean than deal with this black man.
You want to be around him for 10 minutes.
It's just like, God.
Yet they have all this chemistry.
So let me smell your hair, girl, one last time.
I gotta give it up for this trailer though, man. Disney knows how to make trailers. They know how to pull those notes, man. They know how to pull those heart.
The saga would end with space horses.
Why didn't they have no smoke? Why didn't they bring up the Jedi, the last Jedi horses from that?
No, I ain't got no time for all that. Last Jedi doesn't exist.
Why didn't they keep that same energy?
Last Jedi does not exist, okay?
Palpatine's back.
Clearly.
Yeah. All right, man. So it's here, man.
Palpatine, I always feel dirty when I say his name. I feel like I'm going to say Pampa Lamb.
Palpatine. Oh, man.
All right.
That's this trilogy. How y'all feel, man?
I'm giving 2 reviews. I'm going to give a review with my brain on, and I'm going to give a review for my brain off.
That's exactly where I was going. This guy's my cousin for real, man.
I got you, fam. We got 2 reviews, baby.
I was like, I got it. You know, because this is one of my childhood. I watched this as a child, and I watched this as an adult. Do you know what I mean? So, as a child, I felt this movie had set pieces that were stunning. It was so beautiful. When I saw things happen, I was like, no, they didn't just do that. Or
grab your chest.
Yeah. As an adult, I was like, come on, really? You're really pulling that on me? You know? So both times I was so mixed. I was so mixed at how I felt with this movie. I came out of the theater and I was like, I had a good time. I can't front. This was Fast and the Furious. I didn't expect to walk into Fast and the Furious because the first 5 minutes of this movie was Fast and the Furious. They said buckle up. And they weren't playing. That was that same energy they kept through this whole movie. I don't even know what happened to the Asian girl. She got left in the dust. This movie just kept going. The car.
All that heat she took on the internet for no reason, man.
But she was like, yo, I can jump in the trunk. They're like, now we good. And they just pulled off. The car pulled off without her. But, yo, this was a fun movie. It was a dumb movie. Do I need to see it again?
No.
I don't. Would I say watching it in theaters? Yeah, I would say watching in theaters, but maybe not full price.
Oh, yeah. Watching in theaters. Okay, so this movie to me, you remember the first Transformers movie?
Yeah.
It was Michael Bay foolishness, but it had some heart, right? The second Transformers movie, they shit the bed. They gave you the niggerish robots voiced by SpongeBob. You're just like, what the hell is this? The third movie, kind of in the middle, all right? Dark Side of the Moon. This is the Dark Side of the Moon of the new trilogy of Star Wars.
They're just trying to make you happy in this. They're like, man.
They're trying to make. Hey, this movie is the equivalent of JJ saying, "My bad, y'all. You know you like all these things from the past. I'm gonna bring them up. Don't worry about that plot. I'm gonna make you smile."
Yeah, exactly. It made me smile, but at the same time, I was like, "You piece of shit," but I'm smiling. I'm like, JJ, you a real piece of shit. You know that? Like,
don't worry about that plot, baby. It's gonna plot itself.
Yeah.
You plot your ass in this seat and smile. I'm gonna hit you with some explosions.
They definitely got the internet. They have so much content people are building off of this thing. There is so much discussion that's happening off of this thing. And I honestly feel like they were just like, we got to get these Skywalkers the hell out of this galaxy. We got to get them the hell out of here because they are bottlenecking. Hey, the spoiler alerts. But they're bottlenecking this galaxy because there are so many dope stories like The Mandalorian they could be telling. There's books that they've had for so long that they can pull from to bring these dope stories from this galaxy.
No.
That they could finally do because they got these Skywalkers, these redneck Skywalkers, the hell out of town. So, or did they?
This family Baccannal that just continues to affect the entire galaxy, man. It's these same small group of people just affecting everybody's life.
This awesome galaxy.
This whole movie was just JJ reneging on everything that Rian Johnson did on Last Jedi. Every aspect of that film. Like I said when we watched Last Jedi and when they did the review, I was like, I'm not sure if everything's cohesive and that JJ is watching this guy. I told you that, Jarvis. I was like, and Jarvis was like, nah, of course JJ must have seen this. It don't seem like it. It seemed like JJ saw that movie and said, this nigga wildin'. No, we can't be doing all that. No. It's like he watched Last Jedi and he got stressed out and was like, oh my God, how am I going to fix this shit? That's the vibe I got. It's like hesitation. I'm scared. Let me make these people as happy as possible. Fuck all the plot. I'm gonna give you guys some spectacles, some action set pieces, the same boring ass dialogue from the 90s where they're like, I don't think I'm gonna make this. I don't think we're gonna make this, bro.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling. Oh no.
Jarvis, man, how you feel? How'd you feel about this, man?
We're not in the spoiler talk, right?
Not yet.
We're not. Okay.
No,
we're about to get into it though.
All right. Well, I'll say this. I think it was a good technical film that looked great. That the music was great. I don't think anybody phoned it in.
No.
And yeah, that's it.
I
had fun with it. I had fun with it. I'm gonna say I was bored watching it or anything like that.
No, I wasn't bored.
Yeah, but that's it.
Weird though. I think I had a funner ride with this. Oh Lord, let me get controversial than I did with The Last Jedi, and maybe even Force Awakens, because it knows how to hit the stupidity within me. I'm gonna hit you with all these things. Don't worry about the plot. I'm going to hit you with these things that look nice. We're going to go to this set piece. It's cool, right? But what about the plot? Shut up. Just keep watching this right here. Every time I'm about to start thinking, they're like, cut that shit out. I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you something nice to look at.
I got to give JJ like a pass for some things because the character died. A major part of this movie passed away, unfortunately, in real life. So I think a lot of the things that were supposed to happen didn't get to happen the way it was supposed to because of the passing of Leia. So
they treated that character like she hit her life alert and nobody like responded, and then she gone.
We're not spoiling right now. We are not spoiling right now. But
that's how they treated her.
It's just like, it's crazy. There's millions of dollars being put into this and they couldn't get together and have a conversation of how they're going to make this trilogy. It's not like they were going to lose the budget. Like they're going to pull the rug on this if the first one's not successful or the third one, the second one. Like they knew this was coming. Why? We saw all these pictures of all them in a room together reading the scripts and all this. Like they didn't know what was going to happen or how they were going to get there. Like,
Jarvis, I want to hear your take on this. Do you feel like Kathleen Kennedy played a major role on why this is so disjointed as a film?
Like everyone wants to keep blaming this woman for everything. It's getting on my nerves about that.
I feel like it's the writers and it's JJ.
Yeah,
JJ and her. I felt like they all came together and had a vision board of what they wanted this saga to be and the end goal, an end game for what they wanted this to be, and they didn't do that. I felt like each director came into the film with a different story and a different plot that was disjointed to the whole story as a whole.
Okay, well, I'll say this. I think what's her name, Kathleen Kennedy. I think she's very much a studio head, and I think she's gonna let the product stand by the writers and directors, whether it lives up, whether it succeeds or fails. So I kind of give her respect for that because she's not gonna be interfering with stuff.
But isn't there a red flag when they're like, "Hey, we're gonna hit you with a new Star Wars movie of some kind every year"?
Look,
That was the initial plan.
I don't blame her for that. I think I blame what's the stockholders and Bob Iger. They want that $4 billion back as soon as possible.
Yeah,
I think it was bad on both parts. Like everybody wants to be Kevin Feige, but they don't want to put in Kevin Feige work.
Well, like I said, like they spent $4 billion. That's not look. If I was running Disney, I'd probably do the same thing. Like, hey, I can get my money back as soon as possible.
the joke is though they got their money back, and now they got rid of the bottleneck that they're caught in with the Skywalkers. They're able to do whatever they want now. They've put not Easter eggs. They put foreshadowing in movies and shows like The Last Jedi, The Mandalorian, for real dialogue and real politics and real evolution of writing and story throughout all these things that we're seeing now. So I feel like
Rebels. Like let's not forget about the cartoons, Rebels and Resistance. They do some stuff.
They definitely did a lot of great stuff with that too. But like I'm hoping, because I was hoping this from the first of this trilogy, that we're gonna get that now. We're gonna get what happens after the rebels save everybody from the Empire. What, like we're seeing the tail end of that from the Mandalorian, how everything's kind of not balanced. There's no economy.
Like the rebels won at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
and they didn't do a good job because we had the First Order. Like, so what the hell were y'all doing?
As much as people are mad at The Last Jedi, I at least admire the fact that they put in that whole, okay, so people are buying, the people who are putting money into the bad guys are putting money into the good guys too. So what is good and bad? Why does the Jedi always go with the Resistance? Why does that happen? Like, let's challenge these thoughts and evolve this story, because this galaxy is dope. This is like what Game of Thrones got inspired by. This is what like Lord of the Rings, you know what I mean? Like these are things that all, coincide together, that are big epics, that this is the biggest one of them all. So like we could really evolve this, but it's in Disney, so it scares me. And I feel like they might just want to keep it Disney safe and not want to challenge thoughts.
I know people say they hate the prequels, but I've always, even when The Force Awakens came out, I didn't like it. I felt like, the prequels didn't have the best plot, but they tried different things and they gave me some amazing lightsaber battles. I went back and watched Maul versus Qui-Gon. That was a great battle. I went back and then watched the Clone Wars. Not a good movie, but those battles were good. And then I go back and I watch that epic fight scene at the end of Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin's fighting Obi-Wan. Great battle.
Man, come on.
That shit, I got the high ground. Everybody was talking about
the high ground. The only part I remember. The part they're touring their lightsabers around for 5 minutes, just doing nothing. I'm like, all right,
dope. They out here, they swinging baseball bats in this movie. That shit had no elegance. It had no technique. And then
this one had elegance. This one had elegance.
No, man, they swinging baseball bats.
No.
This one was
good choreography.
Nah, man, Anakin was doing some sexy shit with his lightsaber in Clone Wars when he was fighting Dooku. Dooku had that curved lightsaber, like a curved penis, because he was old, and that shit had that limp curve to it.
You mean CG?
The choreography in this was great. We'll get into spoilers later.
There's one lightsaber battle in this whole film.
One
lightsaber versus lightsaber battle.
There's two.
There's one lightsaber duel between the.
That's not all Star Wars is though. It's mental, really.
Yeah. Talk about that, man.
You know what? That fucking video game that came out ruined Star Wars, because everybody's wanting to see. Yeah, everyone wants to see him pull a fucking plane out of the sky now. Like that's the problem.
Jarvis, don't we have Star Killer in this movie?
No.
Yes,
nobody's pulling stuff.
This was Star Killer shit. Ray was doing Star Killer shit in this movie.
And we gotta get into spoilers.
We're not gonna get into spoilers.
Yeah, this ain't
I felt like Ray's character her powers were inconsistent at times. It was
So
moments where she
You mean
doing
like all Star Wars is all inconsistent with their powers?
my nigga Luke was consistent most of the time.
No, he
Man, we gotta
My
remember
nigga Luke was consistent
No.
in Return of the Jedi.
everybody. No,
And what happened
Return
to
of-
the green lightsaber?
Return of the
What
Jedi.
happened
Return of
to
the
it?
Jedi. Like remember he's all cool in that first scene, but then he's in that Battle of Endor in the middle. He don't know what to do. He's all swinging wildly and
Felt
stuff.
the Force.
He missed the kick and still kick the guy.
Because the Force ain't shit. They do the Force so dirty. The Force could be somebody whispering in your ear, "Hey, my nigga, don't do that." That's the Force now. That is the Force. The Force is just any type of intuition you feel in your body is the Force now.
It's religion. It's a religion.
No, it's not. It could be, shit, I shouldn't take that left. I'm gonna take a right. I felt it within me. The Force told me to take that right, Casey.
That's a religion. People are like, yo, God told me to drive this car off the boat.
I know, God, that's so, the Force can make
Like I
you.
said,
Some girl squirt list up.
the
They
For-
might say that's the Force. Ain't no religion. That's a nasty old man.
If the Force is what you said it was, how come Luke is kissing Leia at the end of Empire Strikes Back? If the Force is so strong,
The Force didn't tell him that was his sister, and the Force also.
oh, come on, man! No, come on.
The Force don't have boundaries with incest. The Force is okay with that.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like this stuff is so inconsistent.
They
Got keep the
underestimated.
bloodline strong.
They honestly underestimated this franchise from the start. They made the first movie and it was amazing, and then they were like, oh, "We need to make a trilogy." The second movie was classic, one of the greatest movies in my opinion, but then the third one was cool. You know what I mean? Like they kind of just wrapped it. I think they should have gave Leia the juice in that movie. Like Luke comes in cool, but then he can't handle it, and she gets the Force, and she becomes the Return of the Jedi. But I think they played it safe. They didn't want a woman running the thing, and then now they made it so that the woman is the OP power. I appreciated some things from this movie. I liked some of the things they did where they showed of Leia back in the day, and that was cool. Like it had some things that made me happy. I want to stay like on rails with what we're talking about with this movie though, because like this is a kids show. This is a kids movie. It's not that deep, but they take deep things from real world.
Enjoy it?
Yeah, kids enjoy this. Come on.
My son liked it to the most part. He's like, I like the battles. I was like, what about that story? He's like, huh? It's like exactly.
When you were 5 years old, when you
that
like
shit.
New Hope, like, the story's so
I was
good.
like, sit your 4-year-old ass down. You ain't about this life.
You were mad.
I'm
like,
mad
you're like,
about this shit.
I like
I'm
the
over
first
here arguing with the 4-year-old.
When I was a little kid watching the first one, I was not questioning how did he focus in to be able to get the bomb in there to blow up this big planet-killing planet thing. I was like, this is awesome. So I had to take myself back to
that. We can't use that argument that, it's a kid film because Toy Story 4 is a kid film, but that shit has some deep intellectual shit. You can't just be like, we're going to dumb it down because it's for kids, right? Like, because that's what Ava DuVernay did with that movie she did with the girl with the power. What was the name of that shit that she had? Ava DuVernay movie with that girl, with the black girl.
Wrinkle in Time.
Wrinkle in Time. Yeah, she's just like, it's a kids film. You can no, come on now. You can have some substance in the kids film.
I'm hoping that they got out of this whole bottleneck that they're stuck in, and they're able to do that in the future.
Yeah.
No. We're gonna create a new
Disney, so we might not get that. They're gonna play.
We might get SKYWALKER in the future. Who knows?
Or they clone them and bring them all back. Why not? Right?
That's a whole other thing.
Sounds like you hit some plot points here, Casey.
So, man, what's your final thoughts on this, guys? Because I want to get into spoilers. We'll talk about this for about 20 minutes.
Like I said, I like the movie. I'll buy it on Blu-ray, but I'm not gonna say it's probably been my least favorite of these. It's probably my least favorite of this Disney era, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's my least favorite. I don't even like Solo, Han Solo as a character or that movie that much. I still thought this was a bit worse than that.
Oh no, I'm weird. Okay, well,
Akil,
I'll give my review. I got two. I'm fucking weird with this movie. This movie just had me just feeling weird. I felt dirty, like I just had sex with a hooker. Like I couldn't really come to terms with what I watched because I'm like I liked it, but then I'm like this is dumb. Am I dumb for like? I'm like what's something wrong with me? So I got 2 reviews. If you're just looking for action set pieces, no story, if you could take the whole saga and disregard the entire saga, I think there's fun to have, and you'll see this movie as like a 7. But if you bring the bigger picture of the things, and then you start looking at the plot and the story and the decisions that these characters are making that aren't similar to what you've seen in the past, I'm looking at 5 out of 10.
Yeah, the adult in
I give it a
Sorry, go ahead.
6.
Yeah, I give it a solid 6, man. The adult in me was watching this, and I'm like, they could be doing so much better than this. Like I'm watching, I'm like, this is like a Kanye West album, and I'm watching on the big screen. Like it could be so much better.
This is Jesus is King.
Yeah, man. I'm like, this is hitting the parts that I like, but it's in a cheap way. Like, so I was like, as an adult, but as a kid, I was like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I was having a good ass time. Am I gonna watch this again? Maybe with the volume off, and when a big set piece comes on TV, I'll click it back and put the volume on and watch the fight scene or something. Yeah, I'm gonna check this out again. Definitely was not the best out of this trilogy, which is disappointing because The Force Awakens was like showing us we know what you like.
I didn't like The Force Awakens. I thought it was so safe.
Yeah, but it was saying we know what you like, what you love, the chemistry of people, of characters, the world, the ships, the toys, all the cool things. The second one to me was saying we have an intellectual understanding of the world, and we'll challenge it. This one just said, no, we'll play it safe. I wish the both of them got together and put the story together, but not just one guy saying, no, we'll jump back and make people happy. This is like Xbox One. Like they wanted to revert just to make people happy because they were complaining online. They should have
forced people to have that connect, and then they're like, we're going to take that out. Don't worry about it.
But it could have been the biggest system of our time if they got to actually rock it right. But they ended up playing it safe, and they flopped a lot of this. But I watched it. I had a good time, but I was sad at the same fact that I was like, this could have went so much further and so much better. And the spin-off stuff that I saw in this that I'm predicting could be spin-offs, I was like, that was just horseshoed in here, and I don't like that at all. So
I still don't understand the purpose of Finn.
We got to talk about that in spoilers.
Why are you there? I'm like, Poe's doing what you do, boss. Why are you there? Talking about, I'm your co-general. I said, my nigga can't even general by himself.
Yo, Poe came in there and took the man's job in real life. The actor
job, ready to take his woman, everything, man.
But y'all hear that, man? That's it's spoiler time, man. I'm heartbroken. Let's get into these spoilers.
There's so much to talk about. Like,
all right, so Palpatine. Let's talk about Palpatine.
Okay, well, all right.
Story writing right here, because if they knew where they were going, like the way Palpatine is so confident to know what's going to happen next, they could have made this an actual burden on Rey's character. He should have been like, you did strike me down. It is now your burden to balance the Force. So you think that the good Jedi would have ever rose to the power and strength that it is without the ping-ponging of the Sith? You guys would still be in bunkers praying. Without us challenging you, you would have never rose up to the powers that you have now. And now you have the burden of the Sith, and you have the burden of the Jedi. And she has to disappear to keep that balance in the Force and to keep the good.
I wanted her to die, and the good and bad is just all gone. There's no more Jedis.
Nah, they can't do that. They spent too much money on this.
They killed their ass, man.
30 to 50 more years of Disney Star Wars movies, man.
I would have preferred that whole dark Rey that they teased in the trailer, which we all knew was going to be a flashback. Man. I felt like if go hard, go big or go home.
It's
like
battle, man.
Give us that dusty evil Rey. Like finish it off like that. Might as well. Nobody would saw that shit coming.
But I think at least if they were gonna show that the Sith Rey, and it's in her head with a mental battle, make them battle. If it's gonna be a cheap thing like this, let's at least get a 5-minute fight scene or something. You get what I mean? Where she's trying to balance these two sides of her. Because I think the Force is honestly like, we're seeing guys like Luke Skywalker been murdering people in these movies. Like, he's not a good guy. He's a murderer. He's murdering soldiers. He could be manipulating them like, you do not want to drive and fly against me. You know, just keep them alive. But he's out here murdering from episode 1. So they got to get a more linear approach on what they want this Jedi to be and what the balance is. Because the balance is the true essence of moving forward in this story, I think, in a successful way. And if with her carrying the burden of having that in her, both sides of everything, and it's spiraling out through the galaxy of how the game that I'm playing, that's amazing. He's a Jedi on the run. You know what I mean? That's dope. Mm-hmm. How Baby Yoda's out here with Jedi powers healing people.
I was waiting for him to show up in the movie. Basically, Rey was doing what Anakin wanted to do at the end of Revenge of the Sith. He wanted to heal his wife. They showed you that you could bring people back from the dead in this movie. Palpatine blew up at the end of Return of the Jedi. Explosion.
And he
then
healed.
In this film, he healed himself, but he also made clones. If you made clones, why'd you use the most raggedy ass clone to put your body in? Then if you use the clone, or is that the same body?
They never said that was a clone body.
Oh, exactly. So I'm like, he has clones, so he didn't use a clone body. Clearly, this is the same body that exploded. So he basically Dr. Manhattan and put himself back together because he had dead eyes, and then he had that crane up his booty hole, looking like one of those with the Deathly Hollows from Harry Potter. It looked like one of those. I said, what's going on here? You gonna bring back Darth Vader? You want to just bring back dead motherfuckers? Is this what we doing now, Star Wars?
And if they're gonna bring back, if they're gonna bring back Palpatine, they should have foreshadowed it at least in The Force Awakens. They should have done better foreshadowing to give the intellectual viewer an actual anchor to be like, oh, okay, not just put him in this whole beginning of the movie like he's here. This is what he did. He cloned this guy. You see the clones in the picture moving sideways as they panorama.
Yeah, they show you like Snoke. I'm like, okay, what was the purpose?
So if they're cloning Snoke's, like, yo, why didn't they just bring Snoke back right after he cut him in half in Jedi? And then, you know, it's like they did so much things where it's like the mind that thinks is like, okay, so why didn't they just do this? You know, like the logical thinker will be not happy with that. And there's no way he watched this and he was just like happy with that, satisfied with that.
I felt like my biggest problem was this movie couldn't commit to any decisions that they would make. There's like the scene where Rey first finds out that she has electricity, like Palpatine, and you see that big explosion. You're like, oh shit, they killed
My heart
Chewie.
stopped at that moment, man.
And then they're like, clearly that was the same plane he was on. And then they want to renege talking about, oh, there was a plane that nobody else saw.
I was like, what?
I was like, commit to what you do. And
but at least it had two planes there. It had two takeoff things, but it was still, I agree with you. But they kind of tried to answer that.
So your decision. C-3PO, we're going to wipe your memory. Yeah. R2-D2 is not going to be able to like have that memory, the put that back in there. All right, we're going to have a whole new C-3PO. Psych! I got a backup for you, boss. No, you.
And that
commit to your decisions.
That 3CPO whole storyline was going great because when he lost his memory, he's like, "I'm here with my bestest friend, man. This guy." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm here." It's like, who the hell is he? You know what I mean? Because you know, every movie they add in these new toy characters. Yep. So they added him, and it's like a joke on themselves. Like, okay, he's been around. You know, it's like, no, it's the new toy. Don't you like him? He's like, hi. You know, it's like, I like that. But then when they just gave him back his memories, he's like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, what the hell? The movie's ending. Like, why?
I don't understand BB-8 when there's R2-D2. R2-D2 is such a pivotal robot compared to BB-8. BB-8's just a toy to me. Just like
he's just a new. Hey. They could have honestly got like in The Force Awakens, R2-D2 gets blown up and they have to repair him and they put him on and that he looks like BB-8 now. You know, like because he didn't need to be sleeping this whole time in The Force Awakens if he wakes up and he knows where Luke is hidden to alarm Luke. We need your help. Just let me know. Call me if you really need me. And then Luke says, no, I'm not coming. It's like, why was all that happening?
And then all the reneging they did when Rey throws the lightsaber and Luke's like, don't you disrespect lightsabers like that. I was like,
you goddamn hypocrite.
You did that 2 weeks ago. What
you did that twice. You did that with Vader and the Emperor. You did that a week ago.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Are you the same person? Come on,
yeah.
Man.
And I was watching and I'm like, how is he holding it? He should be like, it should be floating physically in front of him, but he's holding and it's blue like him. Like they just got so lazy.
They didn't have no green. They showed you the green lightsaber during the flashback with Leia's this badass Jedi. And she's like, oh, my son's going to be bad, so I'm going to stop. And he still becomes bad. Bitch, you should have kept training.
Yeah. But I did like seeing that scene. I like that scene. But I wish we got that movie back in like instead of the Clone Wars.
Or
I wish we got that.
Son. Her fighting Kylo would have been a doper moment than what we got.
Yeah, but she died, so I think that kind of messed up.
I know, but like the first, like Force Awakens, we could have got that. Even like when she intervened with Kylo in this scene, I'm like, you didn't intervene where your love interest Han got stabbed. You're like, nah, that nigga deserves to get a good old stab. She intervened with that.
I was okay. Two things. Okay, so they tell us that you can heal, the Jedis can heal through the Mandalorian story, which is unacceptable.
That was never the case in the past.
That was established in Clone Wars, though. To be honest.
Oh, okay.
Anakin wasn't able to do that. Remember, he wanted to save Padme.
Not Anakin, but someone else they encountered did that.
Oh, okay. But
they tricked Anakin into thinking that he had to be a Sith Lord to do that because his wife was gonna die. That's why he joined the dark side, because he wanted the healing ability.
But the Jedi's can do that this whole time.
Like say everything about the Force is vague and inconsistent. So I said there's a precedent for it, but it's not out of nowhere.
Oh, okay. But for me, watching it, I was like, there's no way out of all the things you could pull out of the Mandalorian, it's this. Like, that's how I felt watching the movie. I get what you're saying, but just didn't seem acceptable for me out of all things that they could pull out of
it. It came out of nowhere in this film. Just kind of like, oh, she just does it. I'm like, okay.
There's moments where she's floating. I'm like, okay, she can float, and then she has to jump somewhere. And she barely landed. I was like, what's going on?
I was like, yo, she's floating. I can't wait to see her fight when she's floating.
Hey,
never
come on. Back in the day, also, come on.
I was like, yeah, here floating. 1 minute you could jump under. My favorite scene, because John Boyega's Finn gets on my nerves, and he calmed down this movie. He wasn't yelling for Rey, except one time he sees Rey, and he's talking about Rey. And she's like, and she pushes his ass. My heart got so warm. I was like, thank you, Rey.
He called her like 2-3 times in this movie, like to hop on the ship. He called her. The fight scene, he called her. He was calling her all the time. It's like I was happy to see him more as a confident person in this movie. At least he wasn't the butt of a joke the entire movie. He was more developed as a character. I was at least happy to see that. I felt kind of insulted that they finally gave him the Force vibes at the end of this thing. Like, that was what they were cluing in when Kylo Ren saw him, like, looked at him when he had the helmet and everything on, and he wasn't feeling this shit no more.
Ray will train his black ass. Ray's like, nah, I didn't hit those lightsabers. You good. You a janitor.
That old lady is about to jack those lightsabers. She was watching Ray dig those things down into the ground the whole time.
That's going to be on the black market.
I was like, that's so cheap. Like, at least if she's going to be at the party in the bootleg Africa-looking place where they're having Caravana, where the kid was like, what's your name? Like, let her go back there and have a good time. Let them be partying there with fireworks going off. And the kid's like, oh, so what is your last name? If they're going to do some cheap shit, bring them back there. And she's like, I'm a Skywalker. And then the story that the Skywalkers are still there, so be careful.
How you going to just take somebody's last name? Because, like, yo, I'm real cool with Martin Luther King. My last name, King, now. His ghost gave me the okay, so I'm a king.
Ghosts are watching.
You like those Uncharted games, don't you? Remember he does that?
And what?
You like those Uncharted games, don't you? He does that.
That's not this big of a legacy, though, man.
Exactly.
Princess Drake is huge.
But that's more like a rapper, like 50 Cent taking 50 Cent, the drug lord, or Rick Ross taking the drug lord from, you know,
Rick
like
Ross. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that ain't no. Come on, for Skywalker, that's not acceptable for a Skywalker, man. You know that's factual. Come on,
your name is Palpatine, or you drop and you keep your first name like Cher. I'm just Ray in these streets.
She's Ray right now. She's Ray from the block, man.
Just call me Ray.
She's
also
Ray.
I feel like they diminished the legacy of Finn because he was that stormtrooper that kind of diverted from like the wrongdoing. Then he meets these other group and they're like, nigga, you ain't the only one. All of us did that. That shit was not right.
But
Nothing special about you. We all did that. He's like, shit, I thought I was the one. Like, no, we all have morals. No, not just
I sat up. But I sat up when she said that. I was like, oh shit, they're really gonna dig into this character. He's not gonna only have oxygen when he's thinking of Rey. Nope. They didn't do nothing with that. I did appreciate the thing where they used the horses to be able to get past all the sensors and everything. Mm-hmm. Like what they did in Return of the Jedi, where they used the walkie, like, you know what I mean, where they used actual like basic shit to be able to beat the Emperor and in the war. You know what I mean? I appreciated that little Easter egg, but it was cheap though. But
like this whole movie, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was rumors behind the scenes that John Boyega, he was upset that you either give me like the main like girl as my leading lady, or you give me nothing. Don't give me no side thing. And that's why his character doesn't end up with anybody, because they tried to push Rose on him in the last film, and then the whole relationship with Rose, you could swear like they never kissed or they did nothing. She's like, "Hi, how are you?" I was like, "Come on, man." She was open and ready. The shop was open. The fried rice was cooked, and she wanted him to eat. And my man said, "No, I want potato salad with the raisins." And Ray is like, "I don't like black guys," but he don't care. He's still after her. There's even the whole dialogue with him and Poe, and he's like, "We're gonna tell Ray something," and he's like, "Nigga, what you gotta say?" He's like, "Never mind."
Yeah, I was like, "What the hell, this beta ass?"
You big goofy.
Beta is this?
You're a general now. You out here acting like a child. So you.
Once Ray comes around, he turns into a big little baby. I was like, "Come on, man."
He's forever in the friend zone, and this is the other thing that pissed me off. Ray was so quick to forgive Kylo because he got that chest muscles out. He penetrated her mind. Since Finn's trying to penetrate her physically, Kylo was penetrating her mentally. And the fact that they just forgive him, because this guy was committing genocide. Let's not act like he didn't have these star killer machines blowing up planets.
Yeah.
All is well, because he's like, I see the error in my ways because my ghost daddy told me everything is good. He could have been high on shrooms, hallucinated that shit, and in his mind's like, shit, we good now, nigga. So this lightsaber.
Jarvis, man, what's your thoughts on the movie? What do you got to say, man? Because we're in spoilers now. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah. Let me start off with everything with Palpatine was a huge failure in my eyes in this movie.
Indeed.
Everything about it was dumb. It made no sense. This dude's been sitting around in a chair for 30 years doing nothing, apparently.
Right.
And he's ahead of the game. Like, he's 10 years ahead of people. Like,
yeah, like, what's his plan? The same plan he had in Return of the Jedi and New Hope, just a machine that could blow up planets. So I'm like, okay, we're doing this again.
He's not the smartest person.
Like,
that's why I was like,
dumb. And Ray being a Palpatine was a ass pull if I ever saw one in my life. It's like, all right, I don't doubt that Palpatine. I don't know. Palpatine always came off like he was like asexual at best. He never seemed like he was interested in like
exactly who had sex with that greasy old nasty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, look, I'm
a man. Like who?
I can't see him not getting that, but it's like never came across. So it's like, okay, he just has a son, huh? That he
looks like Mitch McConnell, and I'm pretty sure Mitch McConnell has a wife, so it's possible for him to have sex with something.
I was like, I'm like, something like that opens a whole can of worms. Like I said, what he was doing.
Yeah,
he was hiding out in the same area that the First Order was hiding out in, but they didn't know that he was there. Apparently, but I guess some did, but some didn't. So I'm like, all right, that's stupid. Also,
let's talk about the MacGuffins, man. The triangle that I think is from the comic books that lets you know where the.
That's not a holocron.
No, the triangle thing. You know, the pyramid.
The Wayfinder, yeah.
That's from like the comics or the cartoon or something. I remember seeing it a long time ago.
You're talking about those are holocrons. Those are like little Jenga puzzles. Those like transform and stuff. That wasn't it. It looks like one, but it's not.
But that's a MacGuffin. The sword, that knife that you could just pull out and stand anywhere randomly, and then you could be like, "Oh, that's where we go." You know what I mean? That was a MacGuffin.
That made no sense to me. I was like, so they built a knife after the thing crashed. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I was like, what? I thought it was gonna be like that Eddie Murphy movie with the little Asian kid where he had the knife and he had to stab something with it. You know what I'm talking about, for like 80s?
Golden Child?
The Golden Child. I thought it was gonna be some Golden Child type shit. At least like you gotta stab this specific wall or something. At least be cheap like that. This was like she was just standing randomly. She's like, oh shit, I could pull this. Oh wait.
I thought she was just like blood stuff. I thought she was gonna cut herself to figure something out. But no, I was like, no, she ain't doing that.
She ain't stabbed nobody with it. Nothing. Had another one. I forgot though.
The Knights of Ren were just. They had
Lord!
Suits, they didn't do shit though. A dope entourage.
The Knights of Ren was like Puff and Mace in the Can't Hold Me Down video. Like, you remember that? Where they're just in the desert? It did like a spin around panoramic shot for like 10 minutes. 10-minute panoramic shot just spinning around them. They're like just looking around, catching vibe. Like, is it a DJ Khaled video or something? What's going on here? Like, who are these guys?
And Jarvis, we had that conversation about Kylo Knife and being a Sith Lord. He was out here just being a culture vulture, just appropriating the Sith culture without fully embracing it.
See, that's what I'm saying too. That was another plot hole, whatever you want to call it. So he made Snoke. I guess I guess I was supposed to say he made him.
Yeah.
But the other two movies, they went out of their way to say that Snoke and Kylo and all them, they're not Sith. But in this one, I guess they are. So I was like, wait a minute, what?
Mm-hmm. And
No,
I'm like,
I thought Kylo would have had the yellow eyes after he killed his dad, but he had remorse, so he never had that full like yellow eyes of anger, kind of like Anakin had after he murdered all those children.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. Everything about Palpatine just made me wrong. That just kills the movie for me.
And it just raised more questions for me because I was like, so you could clone Jedi power, like Sith power? You can clone that shit?
And what was I to say?
It just opened a whole new can of worms for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, look, I understand J.J. Abrams. I understand if he didn't like what they did the Last Jedi. That's his prerogative. But I'm like, yo, you can work with the negative and make it something else. It just seemed like they're like, nah, forget that.
Yeah, you gotta take the best of it at least.
I know. I'm like,
he didn't take any of it. Like they disregarded everything. Even at the end of that film, there was a kid who was a Force user, and he was like sweeping, I think, horses. Like,
and he pulled the broom towards him. I was like,
this
yo, where's that kid?
They said, fuck that kid, man.
I was like, yo, where's he at, man? He should have been riding on those fake ass horses at the end scene.
I think that's what symbolizes the Force is spreading again because of his hope. That was never a big thing to me. But the thing that got me was like, all right, I don't think J.J. Abrams even likes the characters that he created. Because I'm like, whatever you say about Last Jedi, whatever, they left Kylo Ren at a good position at the end. Like he's the new leader of this thing.
Yeah, he's a good modern villain because he's like
but then things like nah, we gotta get the old man the chair back. I'm like, come on, man.
Why did he get redeemed? We've seen this story before.
That's
he should have been redeemed. No redemption should have happened.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know whoever wrote this, whoever was charged this decision. I was like, you guys got no faith in your own characters. You can create it. That just made me even more mad.
I will say
so bummy. Like my guy showed up with like a Banana Republic V-neck.
Yeah, Old Navy
shirt. And an Old Navy shirt. And he's like, hey, I ain't got no lightsaber, girl. You got me? That's the their shit that pissed me off. Every minute, like, you gonna hold my pants on, I'm gonna send it off to you, boss.
I kind of like that. It was cheap, but I was like, oh, shit.
Y'all out here creating force powers now?
Yeah, exactly. My thing with that whole scene was I did like the way that they put little Easter eggs, like how he was like his dad. Like, he would shoot without even looking, and he would hit the guy. Like that. I was like, oh, that's dope. He's actually, like, showing his dad's side of his whole thing. Like, I like the way he was like when he jumped onto the chain and he's like, oh, like it felt like he was acting like he was like Solo for a minute. You know what I mean? So that was a cool little cheap tribute that I appreciated at least.
Yeah, like see, like I say, all three of these movies, I think Adam Driver has been the best.
Yeah, he's an incredible actor.
So I won't say anything. I won't really say anything bad about him. Like, look, he's an actor. He's just doing what he's told. But I'm like, I just think they really dropped the ball, especially in this last one. I was like, man, you can't make him the opening credits, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Nah, we're gonna bring back Palpatine. I'm like, come on, man. Like,
even the mask was weird because he destroyed that mask, like freeing himself of basically trying to be in his grandfather's shadow and being his own person and being proud of being who he is. And he's like, nah, I want to be like my grandpa again.
They got toys to sell, man. They got toys to sell.
Yeah, I get the toys got to sell, but that was stupid too. Hey, I'm gonna rebuild this mask, and then I'm not gonna wear it except for one scene for the rest of the movie. He's taking off his mask. I'm like, what's he keep taking it off?
The other thing that pissed me off is like all the times he could sense where Rey is. She's in that man's bedroom reading his diary pretty much. And he's like, where are you? You seem like you're somewhere close. I don't know where. I think he was just playing with her. That's the other thing, that their relationship's so weird. Because their
relationship is weird.
She should hate him. He literally murdered his father in front of her. He's blew up several countries, but she's like, he's so dreamy. She's like, oh, he's so dreamy though. I'm like, no, you got this strong black man trying to get his life together, following you every minute. You're like, I want the bad boy.
We got to make the Finn porn, man. Finn gets his.
Finn will never get his, man.
Especially doesn't make sense because like they've only met like 3-4 times maybe.
And every time he met, he was trying to cut her head off.
Yeah, except for like, hey, come with me. Except for that part. And I was like, all right. But it's like every time it's always antagonistic. I'm like, where's this coming from?
In this movie, he was driving his Porsche, trying to hit her with his Porsche, basically. Like, we were watching him try to hit her, like drive over her, and she did a backflip and shit. Looked cool, but like,
so if Finn was an abusive black man, he would have got them cheeks.
Yeah, like I don't understand their relationship. It wasn't not.
Walks out with his mask off. I'm like, why'd you have your mask off in the first place? I don't.
Jarvis, their relationship is equivalent of Joker and Harley Quinn. Abusive, manipulative, toxic relationship.
Well, I don't know who's manipulating because it seems like they're both manipulating each other. So I'm like,
they're both shitty human beings. I want Ben. I don't want Kylo. He's like, bitch, I guess I'm about to be Ben then.
Yeah. What are you talking about? I is him and he is I. Like, what are we going with this?
And then he's like, I want Ben. I'm like, girl, you've been living in the desert for like 15 years. What you know about love? Like, what are you doing?
Get this portion. Shut up.
What pissed me off is like after he healed her, he's like, let's make love. No! He just disappeared.
Yeah. And the giggle he made before he died was so awkward. He's like, and then he just floated away. I was like, what the hell just happened?
So if I have a one night stand, I just leave my clothes laid out. I'm like, she's gonna think I'm a Force ghost now.
Just leave it. Make sure you do it in a Star Wars T-shirt so she gets the reference.
Oh shit, he's a Force ghost.
Yeah. Man, this movie's dumb, man, but it was a good time.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't have a bad time, but man, just like the opening premise, just everything with Palpatine just ruined the movie. I'm like, I can't really enjoy it as much as I want to.
Is it so hard to make a black Jedi? Like,
it's just too many can of worms.
Nah, man, they don't want to do that.
They don't want to make us like they. I watched Force Awakens over, and they let Finn hold the lightsaber. They literally let him hold it a couple of times. Just,
held it for like 5 minutes.
There. And even in this movie, they hint that he could access the Force. And then also they showed you that Luke was training Leia. Is Rey gonna do that with Finn?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Oh, wait.
That the boy who pulled the mop is gonna push that mop to Finn and be like, get the quarters in the West End. Like, shit.
Now you sweep. I know you have janitorial skills.
Here you go. Stay in your place.
Wait, you brought Luke training Leia. That's probably another thing. Like, yo, Leia and Han are there's some crappy parents. Cause like they knew their kid's gonna be crap. They knew their kid's gonna turn out terrible. They're like, I'll just dump him off on his uncle.
Their uncle's terrible too. He tried to kill his nephew because he had a bad dream. He said,
now it makes more sense now, doesn't it? Like they all knew his kill's messed up. They're like, well, I'm gonna pass the buck off to him. Then we'll let him figure it out. Oh well.
They all knew Anakin was messed up because the Jedi Council all said nay to Anakin, and Qui-Gon's like, please, this kid has potential. And they're like, and Yoda's like, that nigga, wow, that's a school shooter right there. Don't bring him to my damn temple.
Yoda was right all along, man. Yoda was like,
they always said no. Remember, they always said no because he's old. That's one reason they kept saying it.
Yoda said that's a school shooter. I know one when I see one. And Anakin Skywalker is a school shooter. Don't bring that shit to my Jedi temple.
Yoda said, oh, real? For real? You voted me out? I'm out of here. He dipped out. Went to his island.
Even when like Anakin rose up in the ranks, they didn't make him a master. Was it a master? They didn't give him the highest title. They didn't give him that.
Yeah, he was still under what's it?
He was still just a knight.
Yep, he was a knight.
I mean, it said like the prequels don't make sense unless you watch Clone Wars. So I was like, that's the biggest problem with that.
I'm watching that right now on Disney Plus.
Anakin had like mental issues. They showed that shit from Clone Wars when he murdered all those raiders. He murdered the kids before. He didn't just murder kids at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Like he got some baby blood on his hands. He been crazy.
The way he was thirsting after Leia and Luke's mom, man, he was weird. He was awkward. He was just weird and awkward the way he was getting
Drake. He's the Drake. He's the Drake of Star Wars. All right, he's a talented guy, a little off, but he got some hits here and there.
I'm just hoping they get rid of the Skywalker stuff finally, and we could get cool shit like the Mandalorian, like different worldly stuff.
Skywalker will never die. She's like, I'm back, baby. I'm gonna take that mantle. I'm gonna have some kids, and the bullshit is gonna continue forever.
Wish she had to hold the burden, and they communicated that to the audience that the burden's on her, man. The galaxy, if she falls apart, the galaxy falls apart. So she's got to hide away like Luke did, and just. She can't be with Finn. Finn's heartbroken, and he just got to dip out, and they leave her. You know what I mean? Something like that. And she can never. She's like messed up.
the stuff with her, this movie, oh, she's got a dark side. We never saw that in any of the other two movies. I was like, where did that come from?
Because a black man, a dark side was coming after her, so they had to give her a dark side.
He's like, oh, she got dark. Oh, because it's in her blood. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like,
a spook named Finn was after her. That's
what's some Easter eggs that you guys liked or appreciated? I'll say the first one while you guys think. I like the way that she climbed out of the throne room, the hole that he got pushed down into. I thought it was kind of dope the way she, as a Palpatine, climbed out of that throne, out of the hole that he fell down into the throne room, and to show the actual throne room. I was like, that's kind of dope.
What was it? Luke Skywalker's plane. They pulled out. That was like a callback to Empire.
That was fire, right?
The other thing I didn't like.
Terrible. Come on.
I liked it.
You like it?
Because that was like what Yoda did. That was like what Yoda did, and he was always struggling with that. So when he did it, I was like, oh.
I know. How's that plane working though?
Cheap. It was a cheap Easter egg.
The Force keeps it going. Okay, Jarvis. The Force is everything.
All the damn Mexicans he has working that they don't give props to. They all started fixing it. They're like, yes, I got you, man. I got you.
I'm the type of Jedi. I'll be a drunk, and they be like, "All right, where's your money? Charge it to the Force, nigga. Charge it to the Force. Mind your business. The Force says it's all good." My other problem was her lightsaber, that piss yellow lightsaber. I took that as J.J. Abrams pissing on the audience, like, there you go, bitch.
You overthinking idiots.
I feel like they should have gave her the white, because the white is for like the gray Jedis, where they're in between Sith and Jedi. Give her the white. Give her that plane.
No, white's for white. This is some nerdy stuff right here.
Come on, hit me with that nerdy shit. I did a deep dive.
White is when you purify a kyber crystal.
Okay, so what's the one where you're in between Sith and Jedi? What's it in between?
They haven't really talked about that, but that's what Ahsoka is. Ahsoka is in between. She's on the force of good, but she's not a Jedi. But she's still like, she's on the good side, but she doesn't consider herself a Jedi.
I'm looking at gray Jedis. I'm looking at a picture of gray Jedis, and they have white. I'm gonna show a picture real quick.
Is that some EU stuff? It probably is.
They have the white, or sometimes they have yellow. So maybe that's why they had the yellow.
Yellow's for the centuries in the Jedi Temple. They had yellow, but that's not really like I said. J.J. Abrams don't care about the lore. He's just doing what he wants to. I actually like the yellow lightsaber though. To be honest, I was like, all right.
I don't like that piss yellow. Even in the game, the Jedi Fallen Order, I tried the yellow.
That's what I got. I got yellow.
I got that green. Green means I'm mean.
When her and Kylo teamed up, was it blue or was it purple?
It was all blue. It was always blue. I was like, where's the green? That hit me with the green.
Yeah, I was like, where's the greener? At first, I was like, yo, was that purple? Are they giving a shout out to the OG? You know what I mean? But
Mace Windu's never going to get no love, even though he
got no love. His voice was
second in command to Yoda, but they're just like, nah, he died from that fall. Quotations, because they never confirmed.
When all the Jedis were whispering in her ear, I heard Samuel L. Jackson say, "Get up, motherfucker."
That Easter egg I like, because you heard Mace Windu, you heard Ahsoka, you heard even Kanan. So I was like, oh, okay, that's her Anakin. You heard Yoda. I was like, okay, that's cool. I guess I was like,
I wouldn't even want to hear Anakin. I'd be like, nigga, you a murderer? Get on my ear with that shit, man.
I swear, Anakin was like, do what I did again. I was like, what the fuck?
Kill a couple babies is all.
I was like, what the fuck is going on right here?
They die.
It's cheap ass Easter eggs worked on me though. God damn it.
Okay. And you say I like the what's his face Wedge showing up for that 1 second. I was like, oh, that's Wedge right there. That's cool.
It had a lot of faces that looked familiar, but I can't remember who the hell they were, like pilots and stuff like that.
Yeah, different directors and stuff like popped up.
I thought one was John Williams. I know that.
Okay, I thought it was kind of funny when the fat dude from Lost, I think it was from Lost, yeah. When
he blew his ass up, man.
Yeah, but
from Heroes.
When that dude was flying, the main pilot dude, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Yeah, when Poe was flying, he's like, "Oh my god, they killed him!" I was like, Poe finally cares that people died. He got millions of people killed in Last Jedi, like on that first mission. He
gave a fuck about took some step backs in this film. Like I feel like his character regressed a couple of times.
They tried to give him more.
I like the side characters. I like that girl with the helmet played by Kerry Russell.
Felicity.
Yeah, Felicity. She hit you with them eyes. I was like, she got some
Boys.
sexy eyes. She gonna let my man beat them cheeks? She was like, nope. And then even when he saved the day, he's like,
can I beat?
Okay, I like that part. Yeah.
She's like, hell no. I was like, come on, man. That man saved the world. So
Yeah.
neither him nor Finn, and then they threw in that random LGBT kiss at the end, and they just like they did that real quick. So like if they're in China, they could cut that scene because it wasn't no main character. Because that heifer just showed up out of nowhere. She just came up, Leia dead. I just let you know, Leia. I was like, who's this bitch? And then she showed up again, kissing. I was like, oh, that's what they doing. Okay.
I think she's been there from Force Awakens.
I never seen that old raggedy ass woman. She just showed up talking about some Leia dead. I was like, who are you?
She's in the background, faded in this movie a lot.
Are you a general? Like, what's your position? You just run up on.
Okay, well, that's the other big problem with this movie. There's so many random characters played by actors. I'm like, why are they in this movie? Like, what's Dominic, the other guy from Lost, Dominic Monaghan from the Lord of the Rings? Like, why was he in this movie? He did nothing.
Because he's cool with the director. That's his homie.
I'm just like, I'm sorry, like, JJ with Rose. I was like, that's some garbage right there, man. You could have done nothing with that girl. You could have done anything with that girl. You chose to do this to her.
Rose would literally be like, y'all okay?
No,
I bet.
Get out of here. Okay, we cannot continue this podcast without bringing up the legendary Billy D. Williams. How y'all feel about Billy?
Lando. There's gonna be a surviving Lando documentary.
He made me itch. I felt like I needed a shower after this guy was like, "Oh, we going on adventures now, baby. I got you."
Okay, here's the other thing that pissed me off. When you're a black young man growing up in a predominantly white area, and you meet some you have some white friends, and they have a mom. They're like, "There's a girl named Shaniqua up the street. She'll be your best. Y'all would get together real nicely." That's what this was when Finn met that black girl, because she was just like hungry for some Finn. But Finn had his eye on that Caucasian prize, and that Caucasian prize didn't show him no love. Then my man Lando, he said, "Look at young blood over here fumbling, coming in for the damn kill."
Exactly. Interception.
Lando grabs the interception. He's like, "Do you know your family, girl?" She's like, "No, but we gonna find them together.
We gonna make one.
We gonna make a family right now, girl. Don't even worry. I got you." I felt dirty. I felt creepy. I was like, did he just put Spanish fly in her drink? Like, what's about to happen?
They held on her face for so long. I thought she was gonna get out of character and just start laughing, like, awkwardly.
I was looking at that gap in her mouth, and I remember old school cats would tell me, if she got that gap, she a freak. And that's what Lando was thinking. He saw that guy said, "Hold up now, a gap?" Shit, he's like, "I'm about to go take that blue pill." You know, he had like a Star Wars version of Viagra in his ship. He was ready.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this came out. I found this out this week. I don't know how valid it is, but this is J.J. Abrams, so it probably is true. I guess Lando and Herb are supposed to be father and daughter.
No, man.
Nah, man, cut it
out. So out of all the people in the galaxy in the world,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
all the black people are related.
Well, I'm saying this is J.J. Abrams, so I can believe that. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
If that's the case, Finn is Mace Windu's nephew or son. Then
remember,
we're all related.
Everybody thought John Boyega was supposed to be Lando's son in the beginning. I was like, y'all just think every black person's related, huh? I'm like, come on.
Star Wars, man. Like the imagination they have for black people is very limited. So if that was the case, I wouldn't have been surprised.
The imagination you got for white people ain't good either. Everybody's related.
Everybody's a damn Palpatine. They're Skywalkers. Some way, fashion.
I did like the way they introduced his character with paying tribute to him in Return of the Jedi when he had the mask on. That little cheap little Easter egg was kind of cool. Yeah. I was like, oh shit, oh, this is where they put him in. Okay, it got me. It surprised me. I didn't think they were gonna.
That's kind of a surprise because I know Billy D. Williams, he can barely move, so I was like, all right, they did as much they could with him.
He was moving well. Like he lost a lot of weight for the role. One part that kind of had me like laughing is when he's like, "Send Leia my love," and she's like, "Send it yourself." I was like, I think to myself, Kathleen Kennedy said, "No, nigga, she dead. We ain't gonna send that message about to go in the spam folder. That she ain't gonna get that."
I was watching this movie like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
And also like the random return of Han Solo. Like they killed your ass,
Oh
And
no,
with
but Billy
Force
D.
Awakens-
I was
Okay.
that scene that you're talking about. I was like, she's on her deathbed, you monster! Like, really?
He's like,
You could have
she can
called her
still-
this whole
they
time.
call me Billy D for a reason.
It's been 30 years. You didn't call her once. Y'all almost died together. You say she saved your life. You saved her life. Like, y'all ain't talked that long. What the hell?
That's some like I said, you talking about the plan stuff. That's some other stuff. Like they should kind of have a plan because what's his Lando says nothing about Kylo Ren. I'm like, you know this kid since he was a baby. You ain't gonna say nothing about.
That's your nephew too. What are you talking about? He don't even know what's going on in the galaxy. Like
same thing with like Chewie. Chewie, they never say anything about Chewie and Chewbacca. Like you see, like he even keeps Chewbacca stuff in his room. I'm like they ain't say nothing about that.
Yep. And when fucking Chewie gets the award finally that he didn't get in the first movie, I was like, come on, man. Like,
all right. I saw this is why I don't like J.J. Abrams. He's even changed stuff that they put in comics and stuff already. I'm like, yo, they all right. I was like, he just don't care, huh? All right.
Why
like,
were
all right.
Ewoks? Yo, the Ewok thing bothered me. I was like, why are they close to was it Endor where the Ewoks were?
Yeah. They make
Why
no
why would they? Why did the Ewoks know about? They're like, oh, them niggas is fighting again. Yeah. That's pretty much what.
I was like, you're telling me you left these motherfuckers who saved your lives there? Like, they're not in politics or nothing. No forward movement on their culture.
Nah,
like, y'all
man, they're just space bears.
They saved the galaxy for real though, and they just left them there. I was like,
They
that's
left
bullshit.
the asses there to be space teddy bears.
And now that indoor scene, that was another dumb thing. Like, oh, we can't use the Holdo maneuver. And then you see they did it above indoor. I'm like, what was the point of saying that then?
I don't know, man.
We went from having a Death Star to destroy a planet to having, you just build a good enough ship, we gonna destroy a planet like that, baby. We got the tech.
And multiple like friggin' Death Star ships. And who's flying all these things? Zombies?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Where's all these things?
Where did he recruit all these people? Like, who are these people?
Space rednecks. It's like the equivalent of getting like a militia of white supremacists to come roll with you to go to a place to shoot the place up. I'm about to roll to get the troops with me, and we're rolling in deep. That's basically what Lando did. He got a bunch of rednecks with planes and said, "Y'all want to blow some shit up?" And they said yes. And that's what showed up to the final battle. But a bunch of rednecks with planes.
I get it, but it was dumb. But like with what I'm saying, with Palpatine raising all those ships up, I was like, what the fuck? Who's building all this shit? Like,
who built it? Who's manning it? Like, who are
no construction workers snitching? Like, god damn it, I don't want to go work for Palpatine.
These Sith troopers, like, what is this?
there's no union.
Yeah, like who built this shit? It's like
Union
Palpatine's raised ships. The fuck?
His lightning powers
just live on some crappy planet with lightning storms all the time. I'm like, that's not good.
Didn't he say he told Rey, if you strike me, I'm gonna come into you? And he's like, I ain't gonna strike you, I'm gonna reflect my lightning onto you. Isn't that the same thing? She still took him, she still killed him.
That's what I'm saying. He's so forward thinking. Like you'd think he'd be like, you struck me.
I'm still dead, I'm inside of you. Yeah. Like I felt like she should have been possessed and it would have been Finn telling her, like, I love you. And then he has to kill her. And he finally says how he feels. That would have been a more satisfying ending to, you're good? I'm good. Okay, I'm going to just keep staying in the friend zone. We're going to have a 3-way hug. And you could go off to Tatooine and bury these lightsabers. Even though you could have gave me one, trained my black ass. Just bury it in sand and let me continue to be a janitor.
Yeah, let me bury Anakin's lightsaber on the home he hated.
I don't get it.
Luke hated it too. Leia wasn't even there. Leia was never even born there.
That's another thing. They keep acting like that's Luke's lightsaber. That's not his lightsaber. That's Anakin's. Why are you acting like that?
Yeah.
And then the Leia is like Leia's never been. She's only been Tatooine once. Like, what she care?
She got no.
That's equivalent of getting a black person and putting their ashes. We're gonna spread over this plantation. I know he loved it here.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
Why?
And they're both smiling, looking at her. I'm like, this don't make no sense.
No, man, Anakin was a whole slave that Qui-Gon had to win, and he's like, you're gonna race for your
not
freedom.
A happy place.
No happy place, and his mom got murdered there.
Bunch of thieves and pirates in that area, man.
And then
that's what I'm saying.
Uncle got killed there too. Like, come on,
that's
man.
Where they got burned. Yeah, that's what they got.
It's like you being a millionaire and you made all the success in your life. We're like, we're taking you back to Compton where it all started.
Yeah, it's like
Like
the
hell
God.
no. I trying to go back to that shit.
It's like Goodfellas when he's like, "Oh, why don't you get your shoe shine box?" Like that, you know, like just bringing him back to his dark places, his lowest time in his life. I don't know, man. This movie had some dumb, cheap ass Easter eggs.
Like I said, the whole movie just fails from the get go. I was like, this ain't gonna work. I just knew it. I was like, it ain't bad. I ain't gonna say it's bad. It's still better than the prequels, but now I was like,
I enjoyed the fight scenes in the prequels. Whatever. I'm simple.
Oh.
I'm a man that likes Fast and Furious. I enjoy stupid shit at times. Those fight scenes in the prequel had more imagination and better choreography than the shit we had here. You know why I say that? The first movie, Force Awakens, you get the dudes from the Raid movies, and you just use them as a cameo. You don't have them do any fight choreography in the movie. Fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah, they wasted that for sure.
You waste those two men. It's time.
That's J.J. Abrams for you. He just uses his clout. Hey, you want to show them Star Wars do nothing? Oh yeah, man, sure. You're J.J. Abrams. I'm like, all right, that's a waste.
Why you waste that talent? Like, have them on there. Like, we're gonna incorporate some of your fight techniques with lightsaber. We're gonna change the whole battling of the lightsabers. We're gonna add some elegance to it. Now they out here just swinging baseball bats, man. I don't know.
This movie was rough. But I can watch it again though.
This trilogy was rough, man.
All 6 of them were trash. Nothing beats the original trilogy, in my opinion. That was immaculate, but this is just trash. Like this is just like whatever, Fast and Furious, whatever.
Fast and Furious Express, the rise of my blood pressure. I
thought that I would like if Vin Diesel popped up in this, was like, you don't think this fight's gonna continue without me, do you? Like I would have been like, hey, I'm game. And he just drives in, or the Mandalorian comes in and is not even 30 years aged. He's just the Mandalorian with the robot bucking shots.
I would have been like, oh shit, Yoda okay. At this point. I wanted Baby Yoda.
Grown ass Baby Yoda pop up like, yo, they've been cloning me, and they have to save the grown Baby Yoda. Get these wires out of me. Like, I thought he was going to be the Palpatine. I was like, that'd be dope if he was the bad guy. And, like, you see the Mandalorian helmet just there, bloodied. And you're like, oh, shit. We got to see what happens in Episode 8 of Mandalorian now. You know, like, if they tied it in a dope way. I'd be like, oh, my God, he's not Palpatine. He's some next evil dude. Like, like, something like that. Mix it up a little. Take some chances. It makes me scared. This makes me scared for what Disney's going to bring. Are they going to keep it safe like this and just want to make kids happy because that's been working for them for the past almost 100 years? Or are they going to try something different, something better, take it further?
Well, if people didn't freak out about that last movie, we probably get that. But, Star Wars fans don't know what they want. They really don't.
That's the truth.
I agree.
They just don't. We want something new, but we want to keep things the same. We want Luke blown up AT-ATs with his white winking. But we want to keep them realistic. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Just play Fallen Order and pretend it's a movie.
That's what I'm doing, man. That game is epic.
That's all I'm doing right now.
Like, this guy would slap the shit out of Luke Skywalker. Like,
how do you guys feel about Rey? Like, I felt like she had so much potential, and they didn't know what to do with her.
She's too OP. Like, I get, like, Jedis, some have different powers, some can do this, some can do that. From what we've seen, she did more than what we've seen, like, Yoda do. Like, Yoda did some cool flips and stuff in a fight scene, but he didn't do nothing that was, like, elite level. You know what I mean? So
no, Palpatine don't have that old Republican white man blood in
them. She was too OP for.
Like, I try not to be too hard on Rey. I actually like Rey for the most part. Like I said, but I read this review earlier. Somebody talking about this. She never takes a hit in all 3 of these movies. I don't think she ever gets like hit once.
She does.
Does she?
Yeah, she gets.
I don't remember her getting hit either, Casey.
She lost the fight in this movie to Kylo Ren. She lost to Kylo in the fight until
she got zapped by
Leia distracted her.
Palpatine. She won. She stabbed Kylo.
No, but that's because Leia distracted Kylo, and Kylo had the vision and snapped back to reality. And then she stabbed him while she had the opportunity.
Yeah, all their fights like so brutal. It's like somebody swinging she was out of stamina.
She was fully out of stamina, and he's like, "Yo, I'm healthy now. This is not going to be like the Jedi Awakens or whatever, the Force Awakens fight where I was hurt. this is not gonna end the way you think. And he was just holding it down.
She whooped his ass in that movie, even though he had more training than her. She was just naturally good because she's a Palpatine.
Well, she got that lucky hit on him. Then like the planet broke, and then he's like, oh, okay.
He was already weakened because he got shot
by
Wookiee, Chewie.
He should have never been redeemed. I just hated that.
He was gone too far. I think he was gone too far.
And then General Hux or whatever, they killed him. Like all these other people, they were like, we're gonna interrogate them, bring them to room 6. Him, they're like, nah, we're gonna shoot his ass dead. We ain't got time for that. They killed him quickly.
He should have took off with them. Like, where are we going, guys? Like, it would have been funny if he was like just in the squad now, like a third wheel. Like, no, they're gonna be over there. You know, like just see him.
I would have preferred him rolling with them and being the replacement to C-3PO.
Nah,
he has that sass.
Well, if they committed to C-3PO losing his memory, and then he takes over that annoying friend, the moniker. Yeah, that would have worked for sure. At least, like, if they're going cheap fucking joke shit, yeah.
Which they were.
Done a lot more with Hux. It's kind of, I don't know what the problem was with that. It's like, all right, we always knew him and Kyle didn't get along, so that makes sense of him turning on him. But I was like, hey, you could have left him alive, and he could be the villain of a next movie or something.
Yeah.
All right, man, they shot him dead. They're like, we found him.
I know. And then just to give us the same type of character, be like another Tarkin. I was like, another Tarkin? For real? Yeah. I'm like, God.
They just played it too safe, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was saying, J.J. Abrams couldn't commit to his own characters that he created. That's ridiculous, man.
What about Poe? Like, they hinted at his dark side, and I wanted to hear more about that. They're like, we PG-13, baby. Poe, they said he was running spice. I was like, you sex trafficking. You call that spice.
Like, I would have rather if they took the chance and made a Poe origin story rather than the Solo story, and did the Solo story way later on down the line. If they're gonna do a Solo
should have just been a one shot of the Kessel run. That's all Solo should have been.
I have thoughts on Solo completely different, but that's another podcast. But I think they should have did like his origin story instead of Solo's at that time in the movies. I think they should have put him in the moniker.
I agree. Like, I wanted to know more about Poe.
Yeah. Like I said, I guess I'm the Star Wars dude here. I read all the comics and stuff. Like they talk about, I think J.J. Abrams just doing his own thing because they talk about Poe's origins. We never got a hint that he was like shady. I was like, well, this is kind of coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to make him like Solo.
Yeah, because I'm like, he was born into the Resistance pretty much. I was like, well, where's this spice running thing coming from? Like, what is this?
He's a sex trafficker, man. They call him the spice. He's really running ass. A spicy ass.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, he knows how to hotwire something. Like, oh, where'd you learn that? I'm like, well, he's been around ships his whole life. He doesn't know how to hotwire stuff.
Yeah,
like that's not a big thing to think about.
I would have liked if they made jokes on it as in the way like how do you know how to hotwire that? He's like, oh, you're a thief with a spice wire? No, and he just looks up. He's like, I've been a mechanic and a pilot my whole life. Like, you know, like it's like I'm not
like you're racist because I'm Hispanic. You think I've been doing dirt and stuff?
Like he's like, I've been doing this. Like they make it like, oh, is he the next Solo? But he's like, no, I'm me. Like I would have rather that type of jokes with it.
They tried to make him the new Solo. They tried to make Rey the new Luke, and they didn't know what to do with Finn. They're just like, he doesn't really fit the moniker of Leia because they don't even know what to do with Leia, so they didn't know what to do with Finn.
Yeah, they used them as a bait and switch in the first one, and they're like, "Oh, we're done with this guy."
All these black people buying lightsabers in his jacket, thinking like, "Yeah, bro, that's Mace Windu's nephew or something." No, that's a janitor holding the lightsaber until he could give it to Rey so she could properly use it.
She passed one. She gave him the lightsaber for a second. She's like, "Here, hold this while I pull out this better one." And then Poe pulled out his flashlight. That was funny. He had the flashlight. He turned on the flashlight like it was a lightsaber. But yeah, they fucked this up, man. This was
like there's a whole bunch of inconsistencies. Like I guess they just totally forgot that BB-8 is Poe's droid. I was like, wait a minute, is that Poe's droid?
Or Rey's?
BB-8 was just there in the background. He didn't bring anything. I'm like, why are you here when we have R2-D2?
Exactly. Yeah, but I'm like, Poe's flying his X-wing. I'm like, all right. And he's like, hey, R2. I'm like, R2. Wait a minute. What are you doing there? Is that supposed to be BB-8's position? I'm like,
they didn't know anymore. They're just like,
get
this toy with this toy. That looks cool, right, guys? You know who I think helped write this movie? Akil's favorite, Zack Snyder.
Son of a bitch. I wouldn't even be
Sucking on
surprised
this, man.
if Zach was like, "You wanted the Snyder cut? I gave it to you in the Star Wars
Yeah,
form.
exactly.
Here
Oh,
you
man,
go."
We got to wrap this thing up, though. It's almost 3
Yeah.
hours we got on this, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Honestly,
shit.
though, last thoughts. I wish they gave this to Colin Trevorrow. I wish they never fired him or whatever. I just want. I would take anything else but this, good or bad. I was like, nah.
I think we gotta take the pressure off of our creations and abolish the due date. Like, I get it, it's in school to get you to professional level, but when you're creating art like this, like, the investors gotta relax, man. Like, let the creation become the best it can be. So, because they had to get to this 2020 date no matter what, and that's what messed up Solo, and that's what messed this up, and that's what kept the communication down for the whole Star Wars franchise where it's at right now. So I think, honestly, take your time. I don't want a Star Wars movie in 3 years. I'm good. I could wait another 10 years for another Star Wars big feature film. Get the story right and put it back in the position of, the top gun for this space genres, man.
I didn't like this trilogy from the jump with the whole bait and switch.
I know.
Last Jedi didn't even propel it in the right direction. And then this movie just shit the bed. So I'm good, man. I'm good with Star Wars. I'm going to play video games.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play Force Unleashed. That's some bullshit. That's some extra shit. But
don't like that nonsense, man. That's a garbage game.
people love that game. It was Star Killer. That man was like moving.
Because people love that the Jedis became superheroes. They're like, oh, Jedis can do this, this, and this. I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah, it ruined Star Wars, in my opinion. Like, people's
honestly, that's why I'm such a big EU Legends hater. It just made everything crazy. I'm like, no, there's no rules to this.
It's like Superman in the movie when he pulled the planet the other way around.
Cool. I know, it's like there's no rules. Like, y'all just moving stuff out of space with just thoughts. I'm like, that's dumb. Like, stop it.
Yeah. So I hope they can get back to know what people really want, adults and kids, and find that balance in the Disney Force. So I'm scared right now, man.
Like the original creator of Star Wars, you feel like he needs to step in, and then they bring in an additional writer. George Lucas, yeah.
No.
Lucas brought different things. He brought new ideas. He just can't write.
I honestly think people ran him off. That's on the quote unquote fans' fault. They quote unquote love Lucas so much, but he raped their childhoods. He's a hack. He just did all
too hard on him.
And then as soon as he left, and they got one thing they weren't comfortable with. Oh, we want him back. He's a creator. He's good. I'm like, shut up. Y'all know what you want.
I think they should hire the best of the best with the most integrity of those passionate Star Wars people, that community of people. They should just have conversations with them.
I like Rogue One. Bring me more of that.
Like, with the future projects, like Rogue One, the video game that we have right now, Mandalorian, are great, right? That's 3 for 3. That's, in my opinion, great content from Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So I think if they get together and get these books, get the best parts of the books that they have now, that they own, get the real fans, these know-it-all, whatever people that think they know everything about this galaxy, that analyzed it for real and that are passionate about it, work stories together with those guys. That's a dream job for them.
No, that's a whole big. No. The people come so the real fans. Nah, that's a whole mess.
So I think that's the only way, man.
A Star Wars writer, then.
I'm saying,
I'm just
hire Jarvis.
No, I don't know. I'm not gonna be one of those people online. Oh, I wrote a better script with my Legos. I'm like, man, shut up. No, you didn't. Not one of those people.
But I'm saying, put your money where your mouth is. Because if all these people got talks like they can make a better Star Wars, all this stuff. Let's see the scripts. Bring the scripts.
You know what it'd be? It'd be Luke Skywalker jumping 75 feet in the air, doing 18 black backflips and doing this and this, and then
that's Disney's place to be like, nah, that ain't gonna work. But at least let's get the people who are passionate to be able to come together and help develop a proper galaxy story that is
like I said,
40 years.
Glad the Skywalker stuff's done. I'm like, yeah, let's just move on. I would like this. I like to see more with Rey eventually and all them. Because I know they're talking about they ain't coming back. Like, yeah, you guys.
They're coming back. That check is good.
I'm good with Rey. I'm good with Finn. I don't need to see none of that shit no more.
if they come back in like 12 years, 15 years as like a little
Yeah,
cameo,
like
that's
it's like I
fine.
said next year or nothing, but I'm like they're gonna
Oh,
come
I
back.
don't want that at all.
Just come on, like I don't know why they ain't acting like they aren't.
When they come back, Finn's gonna be married to the Asian woman. They're like, we've been saving Rose for this one moment.
Yeah, Rose opens the door to Finn's house, and then it's like, oh shit, what the hell? Some cheap ass Easter egg. Ah man, because
I'm sleepy. Let's wrap this shit up, y'all. I'm tired.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Jarvis, man, thanks for being on, man.
Wait,
really appreciate
for
it.
the people listening out there, you want some good Star Wars? Read the comics, read the novels. The actual stuff's in canon right now. All that stuff's good. Don't worry about the movies; they're fine.
What about the crazy out of canon shit? Where like Luke Skywalker's
there's some gems out there. I crap on the EU Legends, whatever you call all the time. There's some good stuff out there. 80% of it's nonsense, and y'all can at me. I don't care. That expanded universe is garbage. Like, get out of here with that. Chewbacca got killed by a moon, guys. Like, come on, that's stupid.
It felt right. He almost got killed by Rey's electricity jizz hands in this movie. So hey,
I mean, Brandon getting killed by a moon. I was like, what was that?
Thunder tips.
All right, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed the movie. Pretty sure everybody's just as confused and conflicted as we are.
This shit made me tired, man. I'm about to ring in my birthday in a couple minutes. I'm tired as hell talking about this.
Episode 106, the Bacchanal Podcast, man. It's been our pleasure. We appreciate y'all, man. Peace, 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 peace.